make it rain, baby! Yeah, baby! Hit me with your best shot! Oh, yeah, baby! Hit me with your best shot! Yeah! Do it! Do it! I want it in my mouth now!
Buy this car to drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work.
Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today it's all about Timmy. Tim Time Jimmy Jam. We're going to hear his thoughts on the Douglas Murray and Dave Smith, quote-unquote, debate. And we're going to hear about the Mahmoud Khalil possible deportation, or a judge allowing it, saying it's okay to do that. Before I get started, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, and then donate. And then donate again. And then again. And again. Yeah! Do it again. Yeah, baby. Alright. Alright, so we all know about the Dave Smith and Douglas Murray little debate on the Joe Rogan Experience. And Douglas Murray showcased that he's a Douglas Murray. Clear as day. Hey! Turn that background off.
Sorry.
Anyways. How dare you interrupt Timmy? Anyways, so yeah, we all seen that. I mean, the dishonesty of this Douglas Murray guy, the dishonest, I think, takes, dishonest debating style, dishonest, like fake concern looking ass shit. Like, everything about that dude seemed off. And it seemed like most people recognized that. And maybe even Tim recognized it. I'm curious what he thinks, because, listen, I'm going to be real. I am a part of the Tim Club, or the Tim Pool Hate Watch Club. Like, I watch to make fun of him. I'm just keeping it honest. I watch to make fun of him. Sometimes it's something serious, like I'll hear like a political take and then shit on him. But for the most part, I think this guy is also a Douglas Murray. In his own way, though, I think he's weaselly and schemy enough that he would actually betray the whole Trump side of things in order to make money somewhere else. I truly believe that. I think he's a real life Douglas Murray. Once again, if you don't know what I mean by Douglas Murray, just you'll probably hear more and more of it as I keep going. You'll figure it out. Don't worry. But yeah, Timmy, he's been trash since I've ever seen him. He's been trash. I think there was one moment where I was like, oh, he seems all right, which was one of the first times I seen him, which was on, I think, the Joe Rogan podcast, talking about Twitter. And they were banning maybe particular politically leaning people because of their politics, right? Which, you know, that's one of those topics where it's not difficult to get that right. Like, anyone can get that right, but Timmy got some fame for it, right? Like Jimmy Dore started having him on. Like he rose a little bit more in that area, but then he started making all these AOC videos, like over and over and over again. It's like, oh, this guy is grifting, clear as day. Sam Cedar called him the most transparent grifter like ever, and I'm like, yeah, I think he is. I think he's so transparent in what he does that there's just no way around it unless you're a dumb fuck. If you're a dumb fuck, I can listen. There's dumb people everywhere, bro. I can believe it. But if you actually pay attention, there's no way you don't see this fool is full of shit. But whatever, we're not here for that. Maybe I'll make more videos going into why I think he sucks ass so badly. But for now, let's just go into his analysis of the Dave Smith Douglas Murray thing. Dave Smith destroys Douglas Murray. Let's play. Here we go.
Did you guys see the Dave Smith Douglas Murray debate?
I saw the first half. I watched the first half.
I think Dave Smith handily trounced Douglas Murray. What say you, gents? Man, I only caught 15 or 20 minutes of it. The first 20 minutes of it, and it was basically Douglas Murray saying, "Look, what I don't like is people coming in saying the most ridiculous stuff. The Earth is a donut." He didn't say that. I'm saying that, but ridiculous stuff. And then when people call him on it, and I'm going to call out Bill Burr for this because he went on The View and was talking about like, "Yay, Luigi," and then when they ask him about it, he's like, "I'm just a comedian. Don't look at me. I'm just dude. You went on national. I don't care. You can't hide behind your credentials, bro. You said it." Get behind it. Now, it's the same with this. You can't just say crap and then plead like, no, leave me alone. I'm look at my badge. It says comedian on it.
Dave going, I'm just a comedian, man.
Yeah, and Dave.
I agree with that, but I don't think that was Douglas Murray's point. I mean, that was just to say, like, yo, guys, stop supporting Palestinians was basically... I truly believe that was Douglas Murray's purpose, is to get people to stop supporting Palestinians or stop going against Israel. I think that was mainly Douglas Murray's point. I very much believe that. I very much believe that. I don't think it was about trying to make a good point, right? It's just to knock someone down a notch, you know? Like, on its own, in a vacuum, sure, but I don't take Douglas Murray as being, like, out of the kindness of his heart, out of his genuine love for fairness, that he was saying that, or for being socially analytical. I don't think it was for those reasons. I mean, if the same guy, if Dave Smith was doing, or whoever, if some guy was doing the same thing but in favor of Israel, Douglas Murray would not be saying a fucking word about it. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't think I'm wrong at all. I think most people that watch that podcast would think that. I'm just keeping it real, bro. So, for the fact that he's, in my opinion, being inconsistent with that and hypocritical, I would say, no, I'm not giving you any points, Douglas Murray, for that shit. Nothing. Anyways, here we go.
Does do that. Dave, you're one of my best friends. I fucking love you, man. But that, I don't like that tactic. You're a human first, and the things you say are you're responsible for that.
But the reason I disagree with that is that Dave.
I agree with Ian on that. Not saying Dave was doing that or anyone, but Ian's version in a vacuum, sure, I can agree with that. But yeah, whether you're like, the point is to be correct or incorrect, right? That's what we're trying to figure out. It doesn't matter who the fuck says it, right? We're all people, so, you know, when it's coming from someone who actually means what they're saying, or at least you believe they mean what they're saying, it's about, are they right or wrong about this situation? Are they correct or incorrect? When it's someone like Douglas Murray, I'm looking at tactics. Like, is this guy playing a tactic here? Right? Like, he can't just simply say something and then walk away. I'm gonna be like, okay, what was your point for that? What was your motive? I'm just saying. Anyways, here we go.
Human first, and the things you say are you're responsible for that.
But the reason I disagree with that is that Dave is not deflecting. Oh no, I'm wrong now. I better say I'm a comedian. Now I'm going to claim to be right. He's saying, like the point is, I am a regular person who is concerned about the things that I have seen, and you're asking me to get into the intricacies of something that is not pertinent to what the principal argument is.
I mean, Douglas Murray is essentially like, you know, you don't need to have an opinion about everything, kind of, if you're not an expert. And you're like, we're literally all in the opinion business. Like, that is the business we're in.
Like, with all due respect to Douglas Murray, because, you know, I met him recently.
I like Douglas Murray.
Yeah,
I like both. I mean, I know both
right.
of them. I like.
He said.
Seems like a cunt to me. I mean, it seems like a Douglas Murray to me.
Have you ever been to the checkpoints or whatever at Gaza? And he's like, no. And he's like, really? Well, when was the last time you were in Israel? And Dave's like, I've never gone. He goes, really? You've never been? Never? And Dave's like, no. Am I not allowed to talk about it now? Like, have you ever been to Nazi Germany? And then Douglas Murray, I think, makes a very, very awful point when he says, well, I mean, I make it a point not to talk about a country unless I've been there. And I'm like, come on, dude, you're convincing nobody.
Well, because he's British. He doesn't understand the ethos of America.
I've never been to Afghanistan, and I'm going to complain about what the U.S. did in Afghanistan. I've never been to Iraq, and I'm going to complain. Like, it's silly that he's like, you should go. David.
Funny enough, he picks those two conflicts. Like, huh? What about the conflicts happening right now, Timmy? Huh? How come you're not covering those? We are in Iraq/Afghanistan style wars right now. What do you think, Timmy? Anyways. Let's keep it moving. Also, let's be real. Douglas Murray was embedded with the IDF. It wasn't some. I'm a journalist that's on the ground, sneaking in, talking to all the people on both sides, and all. Like, no, he wasn't doing that. He was just embedded with the Israeli military. Let's just be honest about that. That's an old tactic that people from yesteryear that remember the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, where people would embed with the U.S. military and thus only taking their perspective on what's happening there. Right? So, I'm just saying. But, all right, here we go.
Is entirely allowed to talk about Israel, Palestine, what's happening to the Palestinians without having been there. That's silly.
Yeah.
So the issue I largely take with Douglas Murray's position in the debate was it was very much
A
it was
non-position.
very dry, overt talking point we hear of like appeal to authority. Like if you've not been there, you can't talk, and you're not the experts. It's anybody saying whatever they want, and like you don't know what you're talking about here. Whereas Dave is like, I'm a regular guy who lives in this country and is upset at what is happening in this country pertaining to our taxes, our involvement in the Middle East. We should not be involved in these things. I happen to agree with Dave in this regard, and I think this endless multi-decade, generational, constantly being in a state of warfare is insane. And I think it's unfair to say to me or to anybody, because you've not traveled to these places, you shouldn't speak of them, as if an average American plumber whose taxes are taken by force to fund war in the Middle East, be it or Ukraine, Israel or otherwise, has to travel there, ask the general or any of the experts what's going on before he's allowed to say, stop taking my money to fund your wars. So,
yeah, I mean, hopefully they don't stay on this particular point. I think it's kind of almost, it's not irrelevant. It's definitely relevant. Right, the appeal to authority thing. Like, yeah, it's important to point out. But every dumb fucking point that out. I want to get more into the foreign policy of it. Yeah. Like, how does Douglas Murray look now as far as, like, he looked like he's trying to look like the fucking devil in the room. Like, let's be honest about that. Douglas Murray he was there to smash ideas because people are starting to get upset about what's happening with our tax dollars, and that's his purpose there. I don't even think it was for his own vanity. I think it was it's for on behalf of Douglas Murray's, right? Devil worshippers. It's on behalf for them. From Trump to Netanyahu, for those type guys. Let's just be real about it. But whatever. All right, here we go.
I'm with Dave on this one.
Yeah. And I mean, I do it like, yeah, I agree with that. And I agree with Douglas Murray. Essentially, he's like, you bring on these people and to Joe Rogan and you're like, they're not experts. And you're like, I agree. Maybe bring on the person with an expert. But again, like these people.
Once again, if you look at the topic, who would be considered an actual expert according to the world and all these institutions and the governments, they would put in Douglas Murray-like guys. The guys that are all in and in belief of this neocon style policy. I actually believe that. Because the thing that Douglas Murray was saying to Dave Smith might be said to someone like Jeffrey Sachs, who has foreign policy experience, right? In the past, but he has experience. He can talk to some of these guys, all that shit, right? But I think he would also be somewhat dismissed, possibly, because he's not fully embedded with the government line to what's going on in these conflicts, right? I think you need someone outside to fucking point things out. Like, yo, what's happening over here? Because guess what? If you ask the U.S. military about a war crime they committed, that's not just... Sorry, it's not just going to give that up, bro. Like, we can't rely on them as the experts. Or guys that are like funneled in and embedded within them. Like, oh, this guy he's on our side, so we don't have to worry about this. Yeah, like, it is what it is.
Yeah, what is the definition of an expert of the Israeli-Palestine conflict?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Is it a professional soldier?
Apparently.
One on each side?
Apparently. Well, that's just Hamas, though. But no, hold on. That's Hamas. That's a terrorist organization. And you know those guys, they're terrorists.
So
you can't listen to them.
Yeah, you can't have them in America on a podcast. They would be arrested on the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, if it's, let's say, hold on. Let's say you have an let's say a Palestinian here on a green card, and they interview a Hamas guy to find out their point of view. That guy will probably get deported for it. Like, that's where we're at. So you can't, it's bullshit on its face. It's bullshit. I think the whole scenario of this expert thing that's apparently needed for, I don't know, blatantly obvious situations, blatantly obvious moral situations, blatantly obvious as far like just spending alone. If you're focused on money, like, it's all, sorry, a dumb person can figure this all out. It's like right in your face. So, like, I don't know. There you go. All right, let's keep it going. Once again, I'm giving Douglas Murray no credit for anything. Instead, I will just shit on Rogan and say, like, yeah, Rogan is a pillow soft interview, bro. It is what it is. It's like, no, it's just a conversation. What if someone brings up, like, hey, yo, let's kill all these people. Let's kill them. What do you do with that, Rogan? Is that you just sit there and hand them some warm milk and a pillow and say, yeah, don't worry, you're safe here with me? Petting their fucking head? Or do you ask a fucking question? I would ask, if I'm friends with someone, I would ask them tough questions if I believe they were going off in some wild direction. He went off about weed with Steven Crowder. When someone's coming in here and justifying baby killing, you do nothing, is absolutely incredible. I'm sure Rogan was sitting there looking at Dave like, yo, Dave, say something, bro. You do it. I'm telling you, like, bro, that's worth. It sounds like minuscule, but it's worth looking at. When I see Rogan like purposely laughing, or over laughing, or fake laughing for this Douglas Murray guy to make him feel comfortable because, hey, oh no, we're all friends at the end of the day. We're not enemies here. I'm like, sure, I agree too, but I'm gonna let my friend know if he's fucking up. If my friend's beating his kids, I'm gonna let him fucking know, and I'm gonna stop him from doing it. It is what it is. Anyways, all right, let's keep it moving.
People will go on and talk about 500 different things.
And this is
in one episode.
Right.
You're like,
By the way, this is not going to be so analytical. This is me once again. When it's Tim time, Jimmy Jam time, bro. When it's Timmy time, I go off pure emotion and just let it fly, bro. I don't get too analytical. Just so you know, just fair warning for all you debate bros looking for ammo. Anyways, here we go.
how can you bring in an expert? That person's like, I don't want to talk about that for the whole show. I want to talk about that for 5 minutes and then move on to something else.
It's an interesting conundrum for Joe Rogan as a podcast host because what do? He just wants to have people on that he's interested in or thinks are cool, and then if they start talking about one side of a view,
that's Rogan's statements on things. People, interesting people. I'm sure Hitler's interesting. Do you ask him about any of his actions or no? No? What if you had like Jim Jones on? Do you ask him about his percent? What do you ask about Rogan? Do you avoid the main topic? Did he get it? He had Jack Dorsey on while everyone's like, yo, we're getting censored. Did nothing with it. He didn't even realize he's so stupid. He didn't realize. Then people started roasting him, and he had to like, oh fuck, I'll get an expert in here. Who's your expert? Tim Pool? Fuck. We're losing. We're still losing. Anyways, I don't know. Rogan's gonna get a pass like he gives all his guest passes. Like, let's be real. All these friends of the podcast are gonna give passes to Joe Rogan when he's just clearly like, man, you're so dumb. Pass these guests over to me. I'll ask them questions, and I'll be nice and cordial about it too. But all right, here we go.
Conundrum for Joe Rogan as a podcast host because what do? He just wants to have people on that he's interested in or thinks are cool, and then if they start talking about one side of a view, is he now beholden to have the other guy in that he has no interest in talking to just because he's got?
And again, like another thing with Douglas Murray is talking about like the Israel-Palestine stuff, or like he was talking about Ukraine a lot, and he goes, yeah, you bring people in and they're talking like favorably about Russia. You're like, the whole mainstream media gives you the other side of that argument about like the pro-Ukraine thing. Right?
I think this episode shows us why, in the long term, I think Israel. I don't know what happens to Israel, but I know that U.S. will not be supporting.
He didn't tell you?
Who?
What?
Bibi?
Yeah.
What?
We said.
What? What? What did he just say? In the long run, The U.S. will not be supporting Israel. I told you this guy's fucking trash. I told you he's horrible. I told you he's fucking horrible. Like, which candidate, Tim? Where? What future? In 10 years? 20 years? 30 years? What potential do you see?
After the war's done.
Oh, got
After the
it.
war's done.
After the war's done,
After-
and it's in Israel from the sea to the river to the sea, right? It's all just Israel now.
I didn't say what war. I just said when the war is done.
Oh my god. I can't believe he just said that. Straight face, he said that. Let's hear that again. I'm wrecked.
In the long term, I think Israel. I don't know what happens to Israel, but I know that U.S. will not be
He
supporting.
didn't tell you?
Who, me? We sat down and he was like, "I'm worried that America is not going to give us any money anymore." The Israelis did
What?
express great gratitude for the $3.8 billion the U.S. gives them. But one of the things I explicitly
It's somewhere over 12 billion right now. Like within his first weeks as president, Trump did that. I want to throw that out there because Timmy's not gonna know, and if he did know, he wouldn't say it because he's like Douglas Murray. All right, here we go.
Well,
Israelis did express.
we've crossed the line. We've crossed the line of giving them over $400 billion since the 80s.
Yeah,
Well, he says he
I
knows.
don't know where we are at.
He said he knows we're not going to support Israel. Knows.
here's the thing. Well, no, that doesn't even sound realistic at all.
It doesn't sound realistic. I just like he just throws something out like it's a fact. Like it's like it's not his guess. It's not his hypothesis. It's like all I know is something's incorrect.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, there's no indication of what he's saying anywhere.
no. In fact, future foreign policy projections say there is like, let's say we don't go to war with Iran, they're still going to be giving weapons and bombs and shit like that to Israel and giving money to them. Let's say Iran gets wiped out, they're still going to be giving money and bombs and weapons because of Syria and fucking Lebanon. They want Israel to essentially control the Middle East. Essentially, they want them to be the big dicks of the Middle East. Now, once let's say all that is over and Israel claims hegemony, the U.S. and Israel claim hegemony over the entire fucking space, then yeah, maybe we tone down the funding a bit. But it's like that's too late. It's too late. As Dr. said, when the war's
No,
over, it's like, okay, what does that mean if we
This-
stop
this
funding them then?
hegemony.
What's up?
No, the endless war since World War One over the Ottoman Empire. This is the hegemony.
Okay, fair
Keep
enough.
them to never unite and always have them fighting, so that at the end of the day, you're always looting them.
Fair enough, yeah. But if there's like a controlled hegemony where like, oh, there's just no more of these motherfuckers anywhere. Like, there's people there, but we essentially control the governments of all of them. Like, it's all done with, right?
As in, like, you've
As in the final
what is-
solution was actually activated.
domesticated them.
Yeah.
Domesticated the people to where they obey orders no matter what.
I mean, yeah, okay, maybe you're right. I mean, whatever. Either way, maybe they tone down the funding, but it'll still get funding. But I don't know where Timmy's going with it. Like, oh, the U.S. is like, who's going to be that president that does that, Timmy? Who? And then who's going to be the president after that doesn't just turn it around in the opposite direction? Who, Timmy? The only people we've heard things from are the people you call the worst politicians. From the Bernie Sanders to the AOCs to the Ilhan Omars, you call them all maybe not Bernie, but you call the rest of them anti-Semitic, right? And they're the only ones saying anything in regards to defunding Israel in our Congress right now. So what are your future projections here, Timmy? What do you got for me? He just says shit that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, foreign policy wise. Does not make a lick of sense.
I so want to object right now and say there are some other people that are anti-APAC.
We have Massey and
Hey, Congress.
yes, the
Okay.
Massies of the world. Yes.
Okay.
I think Matt
Massey,
Gates
and
was a
then
little
that-
bit like that, but I think he's out of office now. He's out of office now, right? He's done.
Gates. Yeah, he's not in office right now. I don't know what he's doing.
He's doing ivermectin commercials for Rumble and shit and BitChute.
Right.
Oh fuck! They had to have some shit on him that he was just so afraid about it coming. He's just like, all right, fuck, I'm out. I'm out. But all right, let's keep it moving. That was just a random dumb statement by, once again, one of the most transparently grifting motherfuckers on the internet, Timothy Pool. Here we go.
That's great gratitude for the $3.8 billion the U.S. gives them. But one of the things I explicitly said was in 10 years, support for Israel's in question. In 20 years, the U.S. is not a part of the Middle Eastern equation. Dave Smith represents
There's
much
your
more of
answer.
the populist right. As
20 years. In 20 years, we're not going to give him $4 billion a year.
I
So,
am
let's.
wrecked.
So that's $80 billion. That's $80 billion on his math.
Listen.
We got to give him. Can we just give them all 80 billion this year and just be done with it? Just fuck it. Fuck it.
Listen.
Let's wipe that shit off the fucking slate.
It doesn't have to be from the government, bro. If they turn, what was Trump calling it? Beachfront property, beautiful real estate. If he turns like Gaza or the West Bank into fucking casinos and hotels, that you are getting your billions of dollars every year. Now it's just from like tourists and shit. It's not from the government, not from our direct tax money, but you set up a shop for them where like, boom, they are raking in cash now. Right? They can't just go directly to fucking Gaza, right? Without Israel's fucking okay, essentially. Right? Like they will have like ultimate hegemony over those territories. Now, granted, they lit it open for business, but if you are someone like, oh, this guy's a blatant anti-Semite, can't have him here.
I don't think when they make this new Gaza that the Palestinians are going to be there anymore.
No, they're done. They're done. Maybe some people come back to work like in the hotels, janitorial jobs, shit like that. But if you find like a real psycho there who's like, yeah, I remember the massacring of my people, but you know what? I'll be a little bank manager over here for you for the territory because it's worth so much money. Why not?
Banking's against the Muslim religion.
Whatever. Point is, yeah, they can come back and be workers, maybe. Like, wow, I used to live here, and they're gonna see a multi-million-dollar fucking penthouse thing. You know, just sitting there like fuck. And they'll realize at that point, like, damn, that's what this is for. Got it. Not about fucking protection for Israelis. Might not even be about any religious shit. It's just, hey man, sometimes you gotta. What'd you say, Dubster? Sometimes you gotta sacrifice some brown people to get your ends done.
To get the economy rolling, you gotta sacrifice some brown people. It's the American way.
There it is. All right, let's continue. Once again, his projections sound like horseshit to me. It makes no sense to me as of this moment. Unless he knows something I don't know. As of this moment, it makes zero fucking sense. But here we go.
And Donald Trump is pro-Israel, but the populist right is it's not even about whether you like Israel or don't. It's that on the right you have very anti-Israel and very I don't care about Israel. On the left you have I hate Israel. So what does that mean in 10 years? As the older folks are the ones who defend Israel.
So replay that breakdown again. I want. Which one am I? Tell me, Tim.
Let's hear it again.
Israel, but the populist right is it's not one of the things I explicitly said was in 10 years support for Israel's in question. In 20 years, the U.S. is not a part of the Middle Eastern equation. Dave Smith represents much more of the populist right. And Donald Trump is pro-Israel, but the populist right is it's not even about whether you like Israel or don't. It's that on the right you have very anti-Israel and very I don't care about Israel. On the left you have I hate Israel. So what does that mean in 10 years?
He always throws gems in here.
I'm-
Go ahead, Dubster.
I'm anti-Israel, but not quite hate Israel.
He's trying to make it sound nice for the guys on the right, and he's calling the left, or some people on the left. He's calling them anti-Semites, basically. I think that's what his aim. He's been saying that for years. This is not like out of nowhere that I'm saying this. He's been saying this for years. He said, "Oh, the Women's March, yeah, anti-Semites. Ilhan Omar, anti-Semite. AOC, I don't know if he said about AOC. He might have. But Rashida Tlaib, anti-Semite. And then these left guys, they hate Israel and Jewish people because they're anti-Semites and woke." And I'm like, what?
Well,
What?
I guess I am anti-Israel. I don't hate them. I just think they need Jesus. And the Democrats are devils. So yeah,
That's-
they hate.
Fuck. I think that would definitely be called anti-Semitic right there. Right?
No, the Jews just need Jesus. Accept Jesus into your heart.
Well, there's actually plenty of, I don't know about plenty, but I've seen enough of Israelis that do love the idea, the Jesus figure. Like, oh no, he's our actual Messiah. There's people who actually believe that. So,
Yeah,
but,
Jews for Jesus.
but they
I've
get no
seen the
power.
signs.
They get no power or voice in regards to anything. Just keep it a buck.
They're probably on our terrorist watch list.
You've probably been kicked out of Israel. Get him out of here.
Right.
But okay, Timmy. Once again, he's shaping a narrative. He's shaping a narrative because he's a Douglas Murray. That's why he's shaping it because of that. He needs the left, which are once again in Congress. There's not that many of those motherfuckers there. Let's be real. And guess
No,
what? They don't even speak the way of hating Israel. I think he means protesters. Is that what he's saying? Like, protesters, they just hate Israel. It's like,
hold on. AOC and she still votes when the APAC tells her to vote a certain way.
well, she's not funded by AIPAC. Either is Bernie or Ilhan Omar. In fact, Ilhan Omar called out AIPAC.
No, I've seen some of these unanimous votes.
Really? Okay. What I've seen from her was Ukraine more so than Israel or big military spending.
They'll say shit, but they won't vote.
Yeah, he's
against
right,
it.
bro. She's voted for things to give Israel weapons and aid. He's right.
Well, there you go.
Like, they've been unanimous. They've been unanimous votes on some of the shit. Like the entire Congress, not even Massey's not voting for it. Everyone's voting for it. Rand Paul's voting for it.
Well, that's fair. Well, I have to assume that's. Well, was that like right after October 7th?
This is way when no one was paying attention, kind of stuff before the big issues.
Yeah,
Okay.
before October 7th. Yeah.
Okay. I was looking through AOC's record and I saw a lot of yes votes on spending bills in regards to Ukraine. I already know about Bernie and his past, war on terror votes that he supported. All right, I know about that. And his. Let's be real. This fool dampens down a legitimate argument against what's happening over there. He waters it down, and then people just end up not taking him serious after he goes through with it. It's just silly. Like, look who's anti-Semitic. And he shows like a poster from a Trump campaign, and it's like, but dude, there's no way like AIPAC or whoever's going to call this guy anti-Semitic talking about Trump. That's not going to happen. So why are you going that direction with your argument? I don't get it. I really don't get it. But whatever. Okay, fair enough. But maybe Timmy means the protesters, right? But then again, it's like, Dave Smith probably agrees with the protesters. So if you're saying populist right, and you're looking at Dave Smith in regards to that, well, Dave Smith is saying the same things that these protesters are fucking saying, for the most part. Not all of them, but for the most part.
Dave Smith doesn't hate. He's anti.
He doesn't say that. You're saying? I never heard that from his mouth. Ever.
No, I'm saying Tim Pool. It's anti what Dave Smith does, and the Democrats. It's hate.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's
Anti,
like I said, he's spinning narratives.
Anti is like a baby. Yeah, anti means oppose. It's just it's babying it down, or like trying to get away with a different adjective, I guess.
Well, he's trying to make the left sound irrational in their arguments against Israel, and saying like, "Oh, well, Dave's rational about it." These guys are irrational about it. They're just emotional, woke left, irrational. This guy's a fucking cunt, bro. I'm sorry. He's a Douglas fucking Murray, bro. He really is. Damn, what was I gonna say? Fuck it. All right, let's keep going.
Hold on.
God.
The other thing he said, the 10 to 20 years is actually a month after October 7th. The support from America has waned. So hopefully his 20 years is actually 2 years.
Well,
he's wrong.
He's so wrong, Dubster, that I think he's thinking American support will in 10 years will be different. Well, I'm thinking the wars will look way different in 10 years, to where like if Timmy's right about this in 10 years, let's say the amount of money we send to Israel wanes down a bit or slows down a bit.
Yeah,
it's like
something's not needed anymore.
Exactly. If it's mission accomplished already, then yeah, sure. But it has nothing to do with the sentiment, right?
If I invest into a startup company $100 million, I shouldn't have to invest $100 million every year. At some point, I should be expecting it to give me some returns.
Yes, to where you make your money back and then some, right? But
hey, but we've been funding Israel since the 80s, at least $400 billion. So maybe we don't expect returns. Fuck.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that's I need Timmy to explain what that. He's not going to do it. I need to explain the spectrum of the anti-Israel, don't care about Israel, and hate Israel. I need them to actually break that, like name names, like who represents these things, like really do that. Until then, let's just keep playing. Here we go.
That's on the right. You have very anti-Israel and very I don't care about Israel.
Very
on the left, you have I hate Israel. So what does that mean?
Anti-Semites are on the left.
As the older folks are the ones who defend Israel.
Yeah.
When they die and they're not voting anymore, and I don't mean to be crude, you're going to have a bunch of Trump, like libertarian-esque, right-leaning individuals, anti-woke, saying, yeah, I don't want to give money to Israel.
Sure.
You're going to have
The thing is, Israel doesn't even need the money. That's the crazy part. I don't even
I don't
know why.
care.
I don't even know why they give it or take it, because they don't need it. It
just goes into
fraction of their GDP.
It buys U.S. weapons.
There you go. Tim's about to say it.
I don't even know why they give it or take it, because they don't need it. It
just goes into
fraction of their GDP.
It buys U.S. weapons.
Yeah.
Basically, the U.S. is giving weapons.
But I mean, like, Israel has the money to buy the weapons. Like $3.8 billion is not their.
There could be an argument that like it's an excuse for not saying that it's a good idea, but the U.S. giving the money to or giving weapons to Israel is an excuse for the United States to dump more money into weapons development.
Sure.
I've not heard a single.
Okay, that could work.
Yeah.
That could work for. I think it's a
agree.
partnership. Yeah, I agree too. Like,
Yeah.
once again, I look at them as partnerships. I don't look at it as Israel owns the U.S. Like, nah, these guys. Once again, when I say U.S. in that context, it doesn't mean us. Not us citizens on Discord, not us blue collar workers. No, it does not mean us. It's government to government,
Lockheed
guys.
Martin.
Yes.
And Raytheon and Boeing. That's who these deals are with.
Yeah, these are fellows in suits shaking hands about all of this. So, no, I'm not. I don't think Israel owns the U.S. I think it's a partnership with these, from private companies to governments working together for the sake of being Douglas Murrays, basically. And devil worshippers, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. All right, here we go.
single good argument from the pro-Israel side, and I'm not saying this to rag on people who are pro-Israel.
U.S. giving the money to or giving weapons to Israel is an excuse for the United States to dump more money into weapons development.
Sure.
Sure, I've not heard a single good argument from the pro-Israel side, and I'm not saying this to rag on people who are pro-Israel.
In regards to what?
I have not heard a good argument as to why Americans should be using their weapons development tax dollars, whatever you want to call it, for Israel's military.
Unless like America's worried that if we don't sell it to them, then Russia will.
I think that's our bulwark against the Suez, holding the Suez. And if Israel,
real quick before Ian, right there. Listen, Israel it's not just them and their genocide in Gaza. It's also the West Bank. It's not just the West Bank and Gaza. It's also Syria. It's not just those, but it's also Lebanon. It's not just those. It's also like Turkey. Once again, Turkey's involved in this. And they've been flaring up with beefs. It's not just that. It's Ukraine, Russia. Guess who sends money and weapons to fucking Ukraine? Israel does. So imagine having a beacon in the Middle East to, once again, whatever word you want to use, I'm saying hegemony right now, to like have oversight over all that territory to make sure it's, no one against the plan is allowed to survive for too long, right? You have Israel on one end, you have Saudi on the other, right? Like, I'm telling you, bro. It's essentially like we can control this entire space of, once again, gargantuan resources. And then maybe we can put more focus into Africa instead of looking at the Middle East so hard. And, once again, just take over the resources again. Like, and it's not just resources, man. I don't like that argument of it's simply about oil or whatever the fuck. I'm saying, like, it's more than we're even contemplating right now. That's my opinion of this.
It's industries, not resources. It's industries.
Yeah,
that's the way to look at it.
Fair enough. That's a better. Yes, that's a better.
It's the same idea, but expand it to a bigger picture.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I would like to say, Tim Pool, you had me at. I've never heard a good argument from pro-Israeli. And just put a period right there. That should have been the opening for this story, and that should have been the closing for the story, and nothing in between.
Oh my dear Lord. Well, me would require some more context to that. As in, do you mean in this particular conflict? Do you mean in this like genocide?
No. I mean, like he should just went whatever day this was recorded. He should just went live, said, "I do not think that the pro-Israel side has a good argument. All right, you guys have a great day." In the stream.
I need him to explain what that means. That's what I would need from Timmy. Like, do you mean like this actual existence of the state of Israel? Do you mean Israel in a particular conflict or in their genocide? Like, what do you mean?
Yes.
Once again, the needle has moved. The needle has moved, and these former blatant. I'm not going to even say former. These guys that were blatantly selling neocon talking points are now starting to move slowly towards why would we give all this money to Israel? It's like, well, people have been saying that. You didn't listen to them. You called them anti-Semites, Timmy. Candace probably did the same thing. Let's be real.
You tried to reframe who they were, too. It's like, oh, you got some Democrat in you. That's what basically they were doing.
Oh, God. But it's like... These guys were spouting the narratives that people don't like anymore. Not too long ago, they were spouting these same narratives, and now they're telling us like, "Oh yeah, I have some questions about Israel." Steven Crowder, another big example of that. And yet these guys are going to get passes for being not just late, but decades late on this topic. Decades late. Yes, we've been seeing the big bombing campaigns happening in Gaza, right, where there's all-out massacring people. But guess what? There was, quote-unquote, smaller versions of that happening all over the West Bank and Gaza for years, for decades. These fools had nothing to say except go Israel. maybe Timmy can't say that, but he'll call someone else calling them out. He'll call them anti-Semites. Crowder would say, "Go Team Israel." He'll do that. It's like, and now that the public interest has changed, these guys start trying to move with it. Like, come on! It's once again, Sam Cedar was correct by calling the guys like this the most transparent grifters you could ever think of. It's in your face how much they're grifting. I'm like, damn, who is falling for this shit? Who, under the age of 40 years old, is falling for this shit? There's nothing cool about it, nothing interesting about it. He doesn't give you extra information. He's not funny. What? What do you get out of this? What do you get? I don't get it. Like, I'm actually wrecked by that. He gives you information 20 years too late. 20 years too late. Secret meetings with Netanyahu? Like, what are we doing, bro? What is this?
Did you talk about it? What did he say?
Well, let me say this first. According to Kim Iverson, it was... Oh, no. Or, according to Kim Iverson, she's like, yo, Timmy, you didn't say nothing about your meeting with Netanyahu until someone else showcased that you were there. Right? Someone was taking selfies and saw, and you were there. Thus, then you started talking about it. But if those pictures weren't taken, you might not have told anyone that you had a secret meeting with fucking Netanyahu.
Right. So what did he say after he got called out?
He was doing semantic arguments with Kim Iverson. I did not see his full release of a video. I just saw Kim Iverson's version of clips and shit like that. So I can't say I know, but
Okay.
Forgive me. We're in shit talking territory. I feel like I can guess. I feel like that at least. But all right, let's keep it moving. God, I fucking can't stand this motherfucker. Here we go.
To why Americans should be using their weapons development tax dollars, whatever you want to call it, for Israel's military.
Unless like America's worried that if we don't sell it to them, then Russia will.
I think that's our bulwark against the Suez, holding the Suez. And if Israel wasn't there, we'd have no.
But all the ships literally
that's
right now.
actually a really great.
Yeah,
point.
but
That's
all
probably
the
best
ships right
argument.
now are going around the Suez Canal anyways.
Because of the Houthis.
Because of the Houthis. So
We could be nice to Muslims to where they let us pass through the Suez Canal. I mean, we could try being nice for once.
Well, it's our funding and weaponry given to Israel that, according to the Houthis, that's their reason for bombing us. Fuck. That's literally the reason why. Like, oh, we need to fund Israel to help the Suez Canal? Meanwhile, it's because of our funding that they attack our ships, you dumb fucks. What the freak?
And we can't go back in history and point to a time where we got along over there, because the Ottoman Empire being split up is why Israel even exists. It's to keep them split up. Churchill called it the aircraft carrier on land. That's what he called Israel. Like, it was just an aircraft carrier on land. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, let's be real. We've been funding the massacre of Yemeni people for decades now, right? Over a decade. Directly funding it, like with Saudi Arabia. Now we're directly bombing them itself, right? And according to people I've heard, like the Dave DeCamp from antiwar.com, a guy like that has been saying, like, yo, the Houthis stop fucking up ships in that area once the ceasefire happened. Once they broke the ceasefire, they started firing rockets or firing missiles again at ships. Right? So it's like clear as day. Their main point is like, yo, don't just massacre Palestinians. Otherwise, we're going to try to fuck you up. And that's what's happened. Who? Ron White?
Who Ron White is?
The comedian?
Yeah.
Comedian?
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, what about him?
He's got a joke. He's got a joke of like try to tell a dog that he can't kill chickens. What you're saying is, I can kill chickens. Like, so the Yemen people stop bombing. It's like, so what you're saying is, they bombed.
I don't know if I get your joke. I'll be absolutely real with you. I'd have to hear the Ron White version or something.
Right. Well, it's not a. There's something else to it, so I'm leaving that part out. But that was the basis. You tell a dog that likes to kill chickens he can't kill chickens. It's gonna be like, so what you're saying is, can I kill that chicken?
Well, yeah. Around the season, it's apparently it's their actions have been based around that ceasefire. They're like, okay, you got a ceasefire, and if as long as everyone stays to the ceasefire, we won't do anything. We'll chill. We'll chill and
Right.
try to let Palestinians get their rights back or whatever.
Ceasefire was over in 3 days. Ceasefire was over in 3 days.
Well, yeah, I think they even waited when they turned off water and electricity and all that shit, right? I still think the Houthis, quote unquote Houthis, waited. Right?
No, I'm saying Israel violated the treaty they kept telling the world they got agreed upon, just like Ukraine.
Oh yeah. I agree. I'm saying the Houthis, I believe, waited for a certain.
Yeah.
Once it was blatantly broken, right? It was already broken, but they blatantly broke it, right? To where they're like mass killing and shit like that. That's when the Houthis started bombing again, like the canal, the fucking waterways there, the ports, and shit like that. Let's be real, the U.S. was already working against them. They're trying to take over Somalia and shit like that, or was it New Somalia, whatever the fuck it's called.
Well,
New
hold on.
Somaliland.
Our trade is not fair in the Middle East because when we do trade and we go to this country but not that country and supply them goods, we're selecting winners and losers.
Yeah.
It's not. People keep calling this shit fair trade. None of it's fucking fair. If it was fair, it'd be I got 100 bales of cotton and I'm gonna go to each port, and who wants to buy off of this port will buy off of this port, and then when I'm empty, I turn back and go get another 100 barrels.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you selectively go to who pays more. It's not fair. It's competitive.
Well, you might, as far as like what's actually happening in today's land, in today's world, it's not even competitive. It is a lot more selective in regards to politically, right?
Selective / competitive. Yeah.
Like, do you align with me? Do you align with me politically? Even if you have some amazing resources that I might want, I might not trade with you because of your politics or whatever the fuck, right? Your social scenario. And then that's not even that doesn't even come off as like it's not like the countries are holding up to some moral or something, because then we'd be at war with Saudi Arabia equally with Iran if you want to go there, right? If you actually wanted to go there and be like, okay, wait a minute, how are we friends with Saudi Arabia and enemies of Iran? It actually doesn't make sense on paper. For their own stated reasons, doesn't make sense.
It don't even make sense because of money.
The Saudi Arabians have a bloodier Islam version than the Iranians, in my opinion.
I mean, once again, if they're going off on the surface, Iranian, they're fucking, dictators and beheading people in the streets and funding terrorism and yada yada, like, name the list, right? I'm not even saying any of that's true. I don't know. I'm not an expert, right?
But that's literally true in Saudi Arabia.
I'm just saying, on the surface, that's also equally true over there in Saudi Arabia. But somehow we're friends with one and enemies with another. It makes no sense. So it's not based on principles. Although they try to make it seem like that's what they're doing it for, right? They will make it seem like, damn, Iran is just the worst thing ever. That's why we need to go fight them, or fund other people to fight them, or sanction them, or this or that. And it's like, on this, like, I'm telling you, This shit does not make sense. These guys should fucking know that and add that into their conversation, but I don't think we're gonna hear that. I really don't. I'm thinking
No, we'll never hear that because
we're in bullshit territory. To be real.
there's a level of denial that would be the best case scenario for him. Simple.
For his
Otherwise,
money.
it's
Yeah.
blatantly hiding known facts about Saudi Arabia, for example.
Yeah. Or Israel. Let's be real. Are they talking about have these guys said anything in regards to like, yo, you see what Israel's doing? Do you see why Dave Smith is against what they're doing? Right? They can't if they legitimize
he
it.
looks at it.
Exactly.
Yeah, he'll look at it and he'll actually say, okay, they blew up 32 of 32 hospitals. Yeah, that's fucked.
They not allegedly, this is apparently fact, just bombed what's it? I'm not very religious, but was it Palm Sunday? What they call it, right?
That's Christian.
Yeah, and they bombed a Baptist hospital overnight, in between like yesterday.
Israel
and today.
did
Yes.
In the Gaza area or the
Yes.
West Bank area.
In Rafah, which is southern Gaza, the last spot for civilians to go to, essentially, because they closed it off. They already blew up everything north of them, right? They closed off an area and they pushed everyone south towards the Egyptian border, where Rafah is, I believe, and now they're going to bomb in that territory. Like everyone's getting tuna canned into an area, and they're still blowing up hospitals. And they bombed a school and a hospital within an hour within the same hour. Like that's unreal. That's unbelievable of a human rights violation. Like unbelievable of that. But for some people, let's be real. Some people needed to be Christian before they start getting up about it. Well, they bombed a Baptist hospital. Right?
To me, the people we keep calling Palestinians are the true blood Israelites. So I'm beyond that in my thinking. Like,
yeah,
these are the actual people that everybody gets mixed up and calls the chosen people.
I mean, so I don't know.
And the Ashkenazis, the Khazarians, what we call Israel, for the most part, are who, like, we're saying are the demons at this point. And if you look at the historical records, those are the enemies of.
I mean, you could say that, but that's not where I come from. That's not my point of view at all. Like, you can look whatever the fuck you want to look like. It is what it is. It's more about character. Like, what's your character like? And guess what? There's plenty of people there that are legit. No, it's not. It's just because there's plenty of people there that have legitimate character. They just may not know exactly what's happening. Like, let's be real. If they're propagandized, they might not know what's happening. Let's be honest.
And they don't have power.
There's people who do know. Hold on. There's people that do know what's going on, and they do something about it. They protest. They try to make movies, they try to make videos, they make posts, they try to tell the world what's happening. All right? There's real people there that are doing that. And people that they're connected to in America that are doing the same thing. So, like, I'm telling you, it's not some racial thing where I'm coming from. It's really is like, it's a bunch of Douglas Murrays at the heads of offices and shit like that. And they pressure other people into doing things for them. Or they make business deals with someone like Trump, right? They make business deals because they're a bunch of Douglas Murrays. Bunch of cunts. Anyways, let's keep it moving. Because I got another video I got to do after this. Here we go. Or another video attached to this one. Here we go.
Oh, I sent you
to rag on people.
Video related to this. And topic discussion earlier today. 4 minutes.
Oh, okay. You tagged everyone though, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll get into that. All right, here we go.
People who are pro-Israel because they're allowed to be. I have not heard a good argument as to why Americans should be using their weapons development, tax dollars, whatever you want to call it, for Israel's military.
Yeah, unless like America's worried that if we don't sell it to them, then Russia will.
I think that's our bulwark
China,
against
I don't
the Suez, holding the Suez. And if Israel wasn't there, we'd have no.
I mean, but all the ships,
carriers.
literally
That's
right now.
actually a really great.
Yeah,
point.
but
That's
all
probably
the
best
ships right now are
What-
going
what-
around the Suez Canal.
What do we give
There's
Egypt
Houthis.
money
Yeah,
for?
because Houthis, so they
Saudi Arabia.
can do it. It's inconvenient,
But
but
this explains a lot, actually. So Trump wants to control the Northwest Passage with Greenland. He just struck a deal on Panama, and this is why he's pro-Israel. They want all of the trade canals to control global trade.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That the money.
What?
I agree. It's about trade.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree.
No, I mean I agree that is the thinking.
I don't agree. That's the thing. Well, yeah, that's part of it. That's part of the deal. I don't think he's some sort of like robot for Israel either. But at the same time,
He's a robot for Israel.
there's gotta be more to the story than that. That sounded way too
Jared
rational.
Kushner is his son-in-law, so he wanted to do him this. This is his bar mitzvah for him.
Listen, we're dealing with Douglas Murray's, and sometimes you got to take your imagination outside of reality, of like normal something that's normal to you. Sometimes you need to step outside of that fucking box, and I think something way I don't know. I can't say I know, but it's something really not right. There's a reason why I use the word devil worshipping. There's a reason why I use that word. I'm not saying it's like religiously ideology shit. I'm saying like just the okayness with malice in the world or human suffering. The okayness with that is just absolutely disgusting to me. And once again, whether they get the Suez Canal or not, whether they get the Panama Canal or not, whether or not Trump
We
is,
got the Panama Canal.
I'm just saying, like these guys will be
We've
all
done
right.
it in the last week. No, in the last week we've done it.
I'm just saying, but it'll be all right for him, right? This dude has enough money. If he gave you a tenth of what he actually, what his net worth is, Dubster, do you think he'd be fine? Would you need to blow up children anywhere? Would you need to go to war with anyone? You'd be fine, right? You'd be chilling, right?
If it increases my holdings further,
But that's like some game territory, right? Where it's like Wall
what's
Street.
1 million?
Michael
what's
Douglas and Wall Street.
What's 1% of 2 billion? That's 20 million. Yeah, I gotta need more than that, bro.
But that's like pathological
Sacrifice them
on its own.
kids.
On
Yeah,
its
of
own,
course
that
it
is
is.
super pathological. That's Gordon Gekko, where it's like for fun. Hey, I'll take down your airline for fun. I'll fucking gut it and make money off of it for fun. It's part of the game. Where like, what do we call that? I don't know what we call that. You could say psychopathy. I don't fucking know. You say freedom, Jesse?
Evil.
All right.
It's evil.
Well,
Well, I mean, what Tim? So we're dealing with Douglas Murray and Tim Pool. Tim Pool's last argument here is that it makes sense. Panama Canal, we're trying to control like trade routes but like what does that mean? Control. It's like really it. I mean, if it costs just like murdering people and just destabilizing governments and all of that, like what does that really mean?
exactly.
Is that
Well,
like
I'd like to
psychopathic?
respond to that. If this was Alex Jones' channel, it would be because we're going to war with China.
But that's not supposed to be a good thing either. Even like according to Alex Jones himself, that's not supposed to be a good thing of going to war with fucking China, right? And like if
But we got to go to war with China.
Oh my god! Imagine if the Democrats did that. Alex Jones would be like, the devil worshiping Democrats are here to try to go to war with everyone, try to go to war with China, right? The communist takeover, the Tricoms, right? I don't like them, but if the Democrats go to war with them, this spells trouble for the United States. He would say like it's so transparent. But all right,
It's flipped. It's flipped now. Now it's good to go to war with China.
I mean, he did that with Venezuela. He sounded almost gleeful when Green Berets were apparently running through fucking Venezuela. I'm like, oh my god, I never thought I'd see the day with Alex Jones doing that. But once I saw that, I'm like, okay, now I know where you're at. That was an IQ test for me to be like, okay, Alex Jones is not the guy to go to for anything. Or he's not the guy to celebrate as some sort of social fucking leader in any regard. I mean, I didn't like him I wasn't like dick riding him in the first place. It's just, maybe maybe Alex is okay. But after those moments, I'm like, oh, something's not right here. Something's off. I'm smelling some Douglas Murray shit going on.
I'm actually answering, I think, truthfully to Jesse's question. The reason why we want to control the trade so desperately is because we are gearing up for war with China. And like the Suez Canal is an extremely important thing to Chinese trade.
Yeah.
Greenland is extremely important to control Russia. And Panama Canal is extremely important to control China on our hemisphere side.
I want people to not forget these moments. Listen, let's be real. There might be 5 people that are watching this portion of the video. I'm just keeping it a buck. Just being real about it. But don't forget where you're at now before something really crazy happens. And I know people are going to lose their minds and people are going to scatter and do this or do that. But, like, don't lose the mind. Like, see how the carefully built up nature of the thing. Like what Dubster just said right there. Like, don't lose sight of possible things that like built directly to it or preemptively built. I was saying this about the border, military on the border, or expelling dissidents, right? For being, because like, oh, maybe we need these guys out of here because we have something ready to go. I brought up before in a debate. I brought up Bill Clinton start creating extra security at the border with Mexico. Start building up the border security because he knows he's about to sign NAFTA in like 2 weeks or something. So thus, let's preemptively be prepped for it. I'm telling you, like anyone who made it to this part of the video, like please keep your fucking eyes open just in case. We could be absolutely wrong, but keep your fucking eyes open. I would say.
And that's a similar reason, like why I brought up the point of like what he means, because he says it just like, well, this is what's happening. He says it as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But when people talk about things like this as a matter of fact, it kind of makes it normal to discuss it. Like other people start talking about it as a matter of fact, and
Yeah.
so I'm not saying like censor him. I'm saying like let's call this out. Like this is a big deal what you're saying, and
Yeah.
it's like making it like people shouldn't just take that as a normal mode of operation of the United States. Maybe we do that all the time, but like first, if you agree with it, and then if you're okay with the type of warfare and cost of lives that it incurs, like just at least recognize and contemplate it.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I mean, for me personally, I checkmark the personality saying these things and the ideas that are being said in regards to it. And yes, if you made it to this part of the video, these are things to pay attention to. Let's say something happens in a year or less or a little bit more or whatever. Don't lose sight of the moments you're fucking in. That's like number one to me. When I say like, oh shit, like yo guys, there's a fucking something tantamount to the fucking Holocaust happening in the world right now. Like that's not to. There's no games about that, no tricks about it. It's just simply to be like, yo, you're in the moment now, like you're in it. It's like not prepping for something, then you're in, like you didn't prep for a test, but now you're in the test. You're in the middle of the test and you're like, damn, I can see my past self not studying for this thing. And I'm fucked now. I'm saying take care of your every fucking moment. And then with the, I guess maybe more with the political eye of things. Pay attention, man. Keep your fucking eyes open to all of it. Remember names. Try to remember actions. Try to remember statements. Try to remember feelings. maybe the way someone said something and made you feel a certain way. And let's just saying politically right now. Let's say someone said something that was like off to you politically, and you're just like, oh, that gave me a weird feeling. The way he said that, or how he said it, or whatever the fuck. Hold on to those as well. It's all fucking important, and don't just let it be like some sort of giant thing that makes you that shatters your world. If some sort of political event happens, that's just like that's crazy, right? Don't let it fucking rock your world so much. Be able to maintain your steadiness because you've been paying attention the entire time. That's the most I can ask for, and ask questions down. Maybe it's preventable. Something that has seemingly, I guess, predicted so far in this video. Something I'm throwing a prediction out for. Maybe others are too. But I'd say keep your fucking eyes open. Anyways, let's keep it rolling. Here we go.
I would say that's the best reason I've heard, but I still don't know it's the best argument.
But like that's the Suez Canal is the reason why America has been backing Israel for
Well, actually, I'll put it this way.
70 years.
Right. That's an argument. Indeed. I don't know if it's good enough reason for us to be entangled in Middle Eastern conflict.
Yeah, what would happen if the power just like ebbed back and then that block? Because I heard that Iran is about one piece away from concluding their nuclear program.
Oh my God!
This Saturday, I believe, is going to be having the nuclear talks with Iran, and I don't think people understand just how close to war with Iran we actually are. I think one of the reasons they had this meeting of so there was a press meeting, a press conference. So Trump meets with Netanyahu. They have your traditional press gaggle, and then they had the Chatham House with influencers. And the two principal topics were the tariffs. That was the number one issue. What's the trade deal with Israel and the U.S. going to look like? And war with Iran. And largely, talked about war with Iran. And I think the intention of the Israelis was to try and play this game, which I don't believe works, of once they come for us, they come for you next. And this is really funny because I can't remember. I think I know who said this, but I'm not going to reveal it's their business. They just straight up said to Netanyahu, no, they're not.
Yeah.
Like I just thought that was really funny because
that was a whole ocean.
Exactly.
Like there's a geographical component.
So there was a bit of pushback where they were just like
your backyard.
We're 20,000 miles away. I probably shouldn't. Now
that's interesting. That's making me think. That just added to the war with Iran thing. Just added to it. That's all I did right there. If that's what you guys were talking about, tariffs with podcasters, and then war with Iran with podcasters, I'm a little that's I don't want that to happen, but they're making it sound like it's kind of inevitable because of, let's be real, it's a bunch of Douglas Murrays, bro, a bunch of psychopathic cunts, bro, some psychopathic motherfuckers that won't get their hands tangled up in this shit. Let's be real. Timmy's safe. Trump is safe. Netanyahu's safe. They're all fucking safe from these things, bro. As far as I understand, I think they're all chilling. So, God, that's so disheartening. Anyways, here we go.
Okay, look.
It was Dave Rubin.
No. It's because
I have no idea.
It's up to that person. I respect sources if I'm not going to reveal what they said, but I will say this: the Israelis conveyed that if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, the U.S. is in danger. And then there was a couple of people who just said, no, we're not. And they're like, that's ridiculous. We don't need to be involved in your war. And I think the general idea, it doesn't work. This game doesn't work. You can't be like, I'm warning you.
I'm giving an inkling of room that this guy's bullshitting because he got caught in that meeting, so thus he's making it sound like there's a hefty pushback from these influencers and podcasters. But who really knows? I can't say I actually know. Because it was a secret fucking thing. Anyways, here we go.
Don't need to be involved in your war. And I think the general idea, it doesn't work. This game doesn't work. You can't be like, I'm warning you, Phil's going to get you. You're like, I'll deal with Phil if Phil tries to get me. But just because
I'll deal with you, Phil.
You're having problems, we're going to get involved.
Speaking of the Israeli war, that country has been at war since day one of inception. It is a war country. That country is war. It has been put there in the middle of a conflict, right after a conflict. It's just That's all. I told you guys before the show yesterday. I like Ben. Not he seems pretty cool, intelligent,
What?
charismatic. But he's born
sick.
in a wartime culture, and he's a warrior. So all
Ben?
Ben, yeah.
Yeah, he's not a warrior, my man. Sorry, you dumb fuck. I mean, well, that's really Ian's a fucking idiot. He says weird things that subverts kind of the conversation and throws Timmy off a bit. But overall, it's kind of a dumb fuck. He's a warrior. Like, why are you even saying that? What are we doing, bro? What the freak? Whatever. I'm wrecked. There we go.
I like Ben. Not he seems pretty cool, intelligent, charismatic. But he's born in a wartime culture, and he's a warrior. So all
Ben?
Ben, yeah, Benny, and then so he knows how to fight and kill. That's
He's
his
a
job.
Douglas
That's what
Murray.
he's done his whole life.
Well, what I can tell you.
See, like Ian does that weird shit where he's like, "Hey, he's a fighter, he's a warrior. He's been killing his whole life." Like, I was like, "Are you trying to like sneak things in there, Ian? Like, what's going on?" This goddamn guy. Anyways, here we go.
And he's a warrior. So all
Ben?
Ben, yeah, Benny, and then so he knows how to fight and kill. That's his job. That's what he's done his whole life.
Well, what I can tell you is the annoying thing about the Israel derangement syndrome people who are one, they're showing a fake clip of us on the show where
Israel derangement syndrome. I mean, Jesse's spot on with what he said. Like, it's like culminating a kind of lack of groundedness, lack of skin in the game, lack of how actually serious this whole thing is. Like saying something like Israel derangement syndrome. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? It's like you want people to walk away. If someone's like, "Yo, bro, there's a fucking genocide. They're fucking killing innocent people." Yada yada. You have Israel derangement syndrome. It's not actually that serious. Let's be pragmatic. Let's be rational about this whole scenario. Like, no, no, there should be emotional shit thrown in. Why not? Why is that a bad thing? To be emotional about a scenario where you think something wrong is happening. These guys aren't rational. When they fucking argue, their rationalizations of things are dog shit. It doesn't make sense. So why would you throw that away? Because, what, someone gets angry or someone cries or someone yells or some shit like that? Why would you get in the way of that? Because, let's be real, these guys are Douglas fucking Murrays, bro. I'm telling you, dude, there's something not right with this motherfucker, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Like, why are you yelling at me? It's like, because I'm fucking mad. That's why I'm yelling at you. Let's get to the fucking, like, just probably sit there and dissect this fool. One by one of every single fucking point this fucking fool makes, bro. I'm telling you. This dude's, he sucks at it. He's transparent. He's trash at fucking, he's like a dumb person trying to do all this grifting shit. He's Ian Carroll level. Dumb. I'm telling you. Anyways. Oh, Tim Pool derangement syndrome. So you'll never come here and say that. Ever in your life. You'll run for the fucking hills. Oh, fuck, he's smart too. Run. Anyways, here we go.
syndrome people who are one, they're showing a fake clip.
You'd have to play again.
What he's done his whole life.
Well, what I can tell you is the annoying thing about the Israel derangement syndrome people who are one, they're showing a fake clip of us on the show where I was saying that it doesn't matter who fired the shot in the false flag in the context of they won as soon as they engage in the false flag because their supporters are never going to believe it. Like you could say the Gulf of Tonkin for a long time was believed to be a false flag, but they said it was a conspiracy theory, and people were pro-American, like, get out of here with that nonsense.
Tonkin.
And then in like 2013 or whatever, they're like, oh, actually, yeah, we faked that whole thing.
Yeah.
So the people who perpetrate it are going to use it, and they're going to get away with it. But the frustrating thing is the meeting that happens is largely about tariffs and war with Iran. I end up bringing up the gist of.
So you're making me not. You're making me think something sus happened to me because you keep repeating that same. Keep repeating that. It's weird.
Hold on, I'm confused by what he's saying. Israeli derangement syndrome people and the people who faked October 7th. What's he saying and all of that? What's he saying? What not?
I don't know.
Not your like stance on it, but what is Tim Pool seeing?
I don't know. I thought he was bringing it. In fact, I didn't even hear October 7th in there. I'm thinking he's talking about USS
He
Liberty.
compared he compared
Let's hear it
October
again.
7th to Gulf of Tonkin.
Let's hear it again.
A clip of us on the show where I was saying that it doesn't matter who fired the shot in the false flag in the context of they won as soon as they engage in the false flag because their supporters are never going to believe it. Like you could say the Gulf of Tonkin for a long time.
I think it was like a random scenario. I don't think that was about anything in particular, I guess.
Then I'm really
was believed
confused.
to be a false flag, but they said it was a conspiracy theory, and people who were pro-America were like, get out of here with that nonsense. And then in like 2013 or whatever, they're like, oh, actually, yeah, we faked that whole thing.
Yeah.
So the people who perpetrate it are going to use it, and they're going to get away with it. But the frustrating thing is the meeting that happens is largely about tariffs and war with Iran. I end up bringing up the gist of the story is this. Israel seems to be ignorant of the shifting landscape in the United States among young people towards sentiment to Israel, which is, as I mentioned, on the right, either we don't want to be involved in Israel or we don't like Israel. And on the left, we don't like Israel. So this idea that
you think they're ignorant. Yeah, he did. But him thinking that they're ignorant of that, I don't think it's not about whether or not the people actually support or not support. Like, it's no worries about that. They want to be able to do it. They want to be able to do their military actions, 100%.
We can't.
They want you to make it look good, Timmy. That's what you're there for, you dumb fuck. That's what you were in that meeting for, is to make it look good. Let's be honest.
Apparently, we can't get our president to stop contracting with Raytheon and Boeing to supply another country with weapons.
Yeah,
that's part of our fundamental thing is endless contracting.
Okay, let's be honest. Let's say something here. Tim Pool, as far as I've seen from this guy, he's willing to call people anti-Semitic, even though they're just protesting Israel. He's willing to not really point out the crimes of the Israeli government. He's not really willing to call those out, right? There's been a whole fucking humanitarian crisis happening there. Have you heard much from Timmy about this? I don't fucking think so. So what the fuck? Okay. If you say Netanyahu is worried that people, or if Netanyahu is ignorant that people, he's ignorant up to the growing sentiment that they don't like Israel. I don't understand.
What's the matter?
What are you doing there? No. What are you doing there, Timmy? Why does he need to talk to you? He's in the middle of a genocide. He'll call it a war, whatever. In his mind, a war. He's in the middle of that. He comes to America. Okay, that makes sense. Getting a meeting with Trump to talk about these things. That makes sense. Why the fuck is he talking to you for? Why?
Because Simple is the next Douglas Murray.
Why did Timmy just brought up the idea that, now he's ignorant that there's a growing sentiment against him happening in the United States. He's ignorant of that. So what's he actually asking you of then in that meeting? What's he asking in that moment? Like, based on that logic, what is he asking for then, Timmy? Like, why does he need to talk to Tim Pool for? Or any of these other podcasters or influencers? Why? Just to talk about Iran and tariffs? Come on, dude. Come on, audience. Someone someone make that make sense to me. What's going on there?
So, at the very minimum, I'm not saying this is all that it's about, right? Like just being there, just being present there, right? Like absent of anything else that they might have talked about. Like if they got together in a room and they had a meeting, you are going to expect a type of because it's not an aired interrogation, right? Like he's not questioning them. The type of thing that audience would say, like, why didn't you ask him this? It's not that type of situation.
No.
So at the very minimum, you're going to be like, oh, I know this guy. Oh, look, when he came in, there was no Darth Vader music chiming when he came. Like, oh, it's like a regular guy, like it's a type of impression to
pass
when you
to your
talk about
audience.
them, yeah, you're not going to attack them as a mysterious like non-person. Like
But he kind of is.
how's that? What do you mean? He kind of is.
Like he's kind of being truthful to the sense that we're kind of done with Israel.
Well, it,
Then why get?
like is that really what he's saying? He's saying we're not going to fund them, right? But is he saying anything about like what's actually happening right now? Like,
Nope. Nope. Look, Dubster. If this guy thinks, right? If Timmy thinks like, oh, now doesn't understand how unpopular he and his country are right now, and the kind of growing whatever thing happening in America, people's opinions, right? He just said that, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
so what is he telling Timmy? If Timmy's saying like, oh, this guy doesn't understand what's going on in America, then what is Netanyahu saying to Timmy in that scenario?
You remember that?
Make him say that.
You remember that $10 million investment Timmy got from a Russian?
I was less, and I wasn't looking
It
at
was
politics
really
so much.
Mossad.
I heard of it. Oh, it was really just Mossad
It
the whole
was really
time?
Mossad. And Netanyahu's just reminding him, "I got you by the balls, bitch."
Joking aside, it begs the question. Actually,
Oh, you think I'm joking?
well, I'll be real. It could actually be Mossad. It could have actually been Mossad. Whatever. But
that,
yeah, I'm just saying, like, it begs the question, doesn't it? Like, what's going on there to where, first of all, that's a thought that pops in your head. Like, damn, this guy doesn't know how unpopular he is right now. Like, what's he asking you then? What does that know talking to you about?
he's telling Tim Pool, those views aren't real. That's their bots. So if you want to keep this up,
He's like, oh, listen.
if you want to keep up your job.
Also, how is Netanyahu walking into that meeting? And let's be real, these guys are handpicked. These are not random names in a hat like they won the fucking lottery, right? These are handpicked motherfuckers to come to this meeting, right? Has to be.
Well, think about it both ways. Netanyahu would be like, "I want you to say something, blah," or "What can you do for me?" in a meeting. Like,
hey man,
why would he waste the time any other way?
Dubster, without that, I'm trying to make it make sense in reality somehow. Okay, like what was it talked about then? What was the point? If it wasn't for, hey guys, make me look good on your platforms and in the news, got a bunch of journalists here, make me look good. If that wasn't it, then what was it for?
Breaking news. I got a hot scoop for you, Tim Pool.
Make it make sense.
But there is no breaking news that we don't already know about.
Something tells me Netanyahu was like, yo, make me and my government and our actions look good. And Timmy's like, man, I don't think this guy understands how unpopular he is right now. That's what I'm whiffing, but I could be wrong. Someone make something else make sense to me, and I'll consider that as well. But right now, I'm stun locked, bro. I'm wrecked.
Watching this, he has not helped Israel or Netanyahu in any sense this entire what I've watched.
I think he has in a quiet way, which is make it seem like Jesse said, normal. Like these are normal things. It's normal. That's what I think. Like
water it down. You mean like this isn't as big a deal as you guys think?
Let's be real. It's not that Israel's unpopular. It's not about popularity thing. It's like, yo, you guys are massacring people, and it's all caught on camera, and we're all seeing it in our social media feeds. Like that's the real problem.
So,
like we're all seeing it happen. Thus, fuck you. Timmy's not capturing that sentiment. He's just saying anti-Israel.
Waters it down for Netanyahu.
Essentially. I don't know. I can't say for Netanyahu, but I can say he's definitely watering the situation down. As far as forget about reality. What the people that are quote unquote anti-Israel, what they actually feel and think, he's watered that down into nothing. Almost like they don't have a real complaint to be like a real complaint, basically. That's the way it comes off as. You tell me, but that's what it sounds like. That's
At the
that's
same
what I'm-
time, he can't. He hasn't been denying the fact that it's fucked up what Israel's doing. Just
Oh, come on.
and
Nope.
nobody
Nope.
likes it.
Nope. Nope.
Hold on.
Nope. I
Let
can't
me
go there.
finish what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
It, at the same time, he's acknowledging that no one likes them and they're not popular. So he may be watering
It's a
it down, but it's like
non-statement. Come on, dude.
it'd be like putting a drop of water on your A1 sauce.
I played that
There's
video
not much you can
yesterday,
do.
Dubster.
This is the flavor. We know this is A1 sauce.
Bro, I played that
We
video
know.
yesterday, Dubster. The video where he's talking about Bernie and Hillary and Trump, right? Like, oh yeah, they lied here, they got it wrong here, and it's the most almost insignificant statements of like the real crimes of people or the real problems with people. He uses the most insignificant version of critiques of these guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's some narrative ass, controlling ass shit, bro. I want it, like, listen, if it's someone I didn't know, that I never watched before, or whatever, I don't know Timmy personally, but I'm saying like someone I never watched before and had like some sort of, you know, some sort of evidence, some sort of intuitive evidence about the guy. I'm like, okay, fine, maybe I'm tripping. But I'm telling you, this guy's been doing this exact thing for years and years and years and years. And it's like, if you point it out in one instance, some fan that just watched him yesterday, you can be like, man, bro, you're reaching or you're seeing shit. But I'm telling you, this guy's been doing this on many topics for years, watering shit down and making it seem like it's no big deal. He's been doing that.
I'm saying he's not doing that good of a job.
No, PR wise, he's trash. I told you, he's not charismatic. He's not funny. He's dumb.
That is not what I said.
Well, you gotta listen. Let me say my point. He's not charismatic. He's not funny. He's a dumb fucking person. So when he tries to do things, it'll look way more sus when he's doing it. But he will undeniably do it. Versus other people who maybe be more intellectual about it, more charismatic. They might hit a point where they're like, yo, I ain't doing that shit, though. Like, I ain't doing that. Timmy will do it. That's the difference, I think. I think he's like, because he's willing to go to, at these weird lengths, I think he's willing to do these things. That's why it's, like, it looks harmful because he's on the wrong side of it. If Douglas Murray was on the quote-unquote right side of history in regards to that discussion with Dave Smith, people would view him a lot differently. But because when you're on the wrong side of things, the blatantly wrong side of things, you're going to look like a fucking cunt. Or, sorry, you're going to look like a Douglas Murray. So, whatever. God. I'm spinning wheels at this point, bro. But something, I'm telling you, my abstraction makes sense in my head, just maybe not out loud.
Just to repeat what I said. He's not doing a good job at watering it down. He's not successful at watering it down.
Yeah.
Pretty much nobody, like you said, under 40 is in support of Israel in the United States.
There's
so what's
some.
the worst thing he just said? What did he say as the worst thing right now? Of why?
You asking me?
No, anybody. Or Dubster, you're saying that he's not like you know, like he's doing a bad job at watering it down. What is the worst thing that he has just talked about in terms of Israel? Like that we don't like him, that we don't have a reason to send him money. Like
No,
what
that's in 10 years, Jesse. That's in 10 or 20 years.
There's no support for Israel.
There's no support.
That's the worst thing he said.
So that's the worst
That's
thing
the worst
he
thing
said.
he said.
So if that's the worst thing that he said in this, at least in this podcast episode, then that to
That's
me,
not watered down enough. That's not
that
watered
to me
down
sounds
enough, is what I'm
extreme.
saying.
Well, if you compare it to like, that's absent of any type of like actions that they're doing, right?
No, I'm saying compare compare it to Douglas Murray. At least
Oh.
Douglas Murray was like,
Ardent.
if you've never been there, you can't talk about it.
Oh no, I wouldn't compare it to Douglas. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't compare.
Like a Wizard of Oz kind of move.
Yeah, no. Douglas Murray.
Like,
Yeah, it's very.
if you
active.
haven't been to the moon, you can't talk about the moon.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
what
like
the
basically
fuck?
That's brazen. Basically.
that's antagonistic.
Right.
Like that's like actively opposing, as opposed to in this case, it's watering down where it makes it seem like a nothing, like nothing's going on. Like there's not really even discussion about war or actions of what's going on, other than like I guess he referenced the canals or the
The
the trade routes.
geopolitical reasons we
He referred
support
to them as
Israel.
trade routes. So, like, it's very vague. That's watering down. That's exactly what, like, to almost nothing.
I'm telling you, I've seen this for
I'd say
years with
that's
this guy.
actually the bigger issue. I say our empirical resource hunting is a bigger issue of why we do this all around the world.
Yes, and he should say even to that extent. He should say that.
He didn't water that down.
He didn't say what you just said, though.
He straight up
He did not
straight up
say what you
admitted
just said.
to it.
He did.
You
I don't
heard
think he
Straight
did.
up admitted to it.
No. So
This is why we're taking Greenland.
That,
But
that,
he made it sound like a normal business transaction. He didn't make it sound like you
It
just
is
did.
normal in America. Our empirical ways are normal in America.
Right, but when I heard you just say it, you had a higher inflection. You sounded alerted, like you sounded like concerned. You did not.
Oh, I'm not monotone like this dipshit.
I don't think it's a monotone
hey,
thing.
don't do
I
not
think
do not
that's
diss
the way he
monotone
communicates.
people. Fuck off.
Yeah, I don't think
We
it's a
the
monotone
best.
thing. It's yeah, I've heard him yell like crazy about like various things.
You're right.
Like,
You're right. He's not
so,
monotone.
yeah, so I that's all I'm trying to say is the way that he communicates it. This topic makes it seem like a nothing. Like the stock just went up to 10% or not even 2%. That's what it sounds like.
That's actually a funny
To me,
reference. It's like the stock market moving around.
This
Dexter.
reminds me of Alex Jones. This reminds me of Alex Jones. Tim Pool does.
No.
Let me explain.
God.
Let me explain.
God.
The Israel's bad, but so is Iran. I mean, can't there be two bad guys in a war? We need to focus on China. What are you guys talking about? Let's focus on China.
Trying to take the throne and say, I'm the rational one in the room. You guys are all, the rest of you guys are crazy or obsessed with something. Meanwhile, we're seeing what's happened. Once again, this is the most documented genocide of all time. I'm pretty sure. We're all seeing it, and people are pretending like it's, oh no, this is normal. It's everyday shit. This is regular. Like, they want to pretend like they're the rational ones in regards to this. It's baffling, absolutely baffling. And once again, I've seen this in action before. Things that should be taken as like, oh my god, when those two vice people that used to work with Timmy were on this show, and they brought up the Assange thing that he knew about, and it's like, yo, why didn't you cover that? He's like, what? What are we talking about? I never heard anything. The girl was like, no, you told me. You told me about this. You told me about Assange being arrested like very soon, and you said nothing. He didn't report on it. He didn't say anything about it, and then he acted surprised when it happened. Who was president then? Donald Trump. Who was arresting him? The Trump administration by fucking, let's be real, arm squeezing and pressuring other governments. Right?
Yeah.
Under Bill Barr's. Bill Barr was Attorney General, I think, at the time. With all that happening,
like getting where he made a lot of speeches about it.
Who's that? What did you say? Pompeo? You said?
Yeah, he's the one that was like vocal about it.
And Tim Pool has been out here pretending like Assange has been a big topic for him, but he had the biggest story in the world on his lap and didn't report on it. Want to know why? Because people might preemptively be like, "Yo, fuck you, Trump! You're about to arrest Assange. Fuck you." maybe that would stop it. Maybe. But this fool kept it a secret. He said it was a non-story. I think he said it was a non-story. Thus, he didn't do anything with it, or some shit like that. And then he's like, for every other detail, he's like, man, I don't remember that. And this girl's like, no, you fucking told me about this. Like, I didn't just make this up. You told me about it. They were wrecking Hitch. These fools, they secretly infiltrated and was like wrecking Tim Bull on his own show. I'm telling you, those fools never came back either. I don't think. But anyways, I'm just saying, there's evidence of this guy doing things that is like omega sus. Like you can see the stink lines coming from it, type shit. Anyways, let's get back to our shit talking. Here we go. There's more Tim Time Jimmy Jam.
States among young people towards sentiment to Israel, which is, as I mentioned, on the right, either we don't want to be involved in Israel or we don't like Israel, and on the left, we don't like Israel. So this idea
Anti-Semites.
that the Israelis wanted to communicate to prominent individuals, Iran's going to get a nuclear weapon and you're all in danger, was meaningless.
Sure.
Because in 10 years, we're not involved. And in 20 years, who cares about Iran? We're not going to be a part
Also,
of
America can deal with Iran.
I need to hear that again. I think my brain shut off for a second. Hearing, I'm like, I need to hear that again one more time.
landscape in the United States among young people towards sentiment to Israel, which is, as I mentioned, on the right, either we don't want to be involved in Israel or we don't like
Go
Israel.
back.
And on
No,
the left, we
go
don't-
back.
No,
further.
hold on.
So this idea that the Israelis wanted to communicate to prominent individuals, Iran's going to get a nuclear weapon and you're all in
Prominent.
danger, was meaningless.
Sure.
So his idea, okay, so Netanyahu's idea was to tell these influencers and podcasters that Iran's going to get a nuclear weapon, and him saying that to these guys, to Timmy and the other people, is useless because in 10 years, people are not going to like Israel anymore.
So
Does he
that's what I was
not
gonna highlight.
recognize? Does he not? Is he a fucking? I'm telling you, this guy's stupid. I'm telling you, he's fucking dumb.
He was projecting. He was or speaking in third person, calling himself prominent.
That's funny.
Like,
That's
when,
funny.
When
But
when he contacted me, I think he just told us what the private conversation was about. I need you guys to get out there the message that Iran's gonna in 2 weeks have a nuke.
hold on, because I'm wrecked. Like, is Timmy actually okay? Let's say Netanyahu held a meeting to be like, okay, listen, I need you guys to push the narrative that Iran is trying to get nukes, or might even have them already. Push one or the other, like push them. And Timmy's pushing it. He's kind of pushing that narrative, but in a different way. He's like, yeah, they do have nuke, like they're gonna have nukes soon. But what will matter? Like, why would it matter? Because in 10 years, Americans are not gonna like you guys. Like, do you see? Am I tripping? Anyone else see that? Am I being paranoid? Am I being conspiracy theory shit right now? Does anyone else see that?
I'm not on the same page, but
He just sold the nuke.
perspective of that.
He just sold the Iran nuke narrative, but saying it doesn't matter. Like, he's saying, like, yeah, Iran is getting nukes. They're trying to get nukes. They will get nukes, or they're trying to get nukes. But it doesn't matter because you're going to be unpopular soon. And it's like, what? But you just sold the Iran nuclear idea, right? Right, like underneath your breath, kind of, in a way, right there.
It's
Am I
like
tripping?
sandwich thing. He sandwiched that into the other thing, so it's just kind of slid it in.
Oh, I see something else. I see something
What?
else with it.
What?
Netanyahu can't be the leader in this. Trump needs to be. So since we're in the middle of Iran nuke talks again, this is going to be a win for Trump, but screw you, Netanyahu.
What?
What?
In
What?
the sense that we need to have Trump still be winning while Israel isn't popular and we still do things for him. But this needs to be a win for Trump.
What do you mean winning?
He already won, by the way.
The Iran nuke deal.
He needs to win the nuke deal.
The nuke. He
Yeah.
already pulled out of a nuclear. Okay.
No, they're
I don't get
nuclear
it. I don't get where you're
talks
going
right
for
now.
it. I don't get where you're going with this. I don't get it yet. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's say there's on a football team, there's kind of two captains.
Okay.
There's the quarterback, obviously, on the offense, and there's the linebacker
Middle
on the
linebacker.
defense.
Yeah. Ray Lewis.
Okay, so for this example, Netanyahu would be the linebacker and Trump would obviously be the quarterback. We need you to recognize that Trump is the quarterback and he brought the team to the finish line. But linebacker missed 3 sacks. But we're still winning by 12 points instead of 30 points. You need to realize the importance that the quarterback got us there.
So
Linebacker
wait,
is still
wait.
captain.
So we need to sell it for
He's
the
still
MVP
captain.
or something. Is that what you're saying?
For the audience.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Stands.
For the MVP, that everyone's like, yeah, they're the best. They're the best. They want
Yeah.
Trump to lead the charge, be the face of it. I don't know. I don't know exactly where you're going. I might have confused myself a little.
I think that's what I just saw right there.
Well, lads.
What's up,
So
man?
sorry to walk into your debate, but Last of Us Season 2 just dropped.
Listen, I will get to it, K2C. Right now, it's Tim Time Jimmy Jam. Okay? It is Tim Time Jimmy Jam. It's beanies out. You know? I'm wearing a beanie right now. I'm making sure, okay? It's Timmy time. But yeah, like I think he just he said the meeting as far as the Iran part was about the nuclear stuff, right? About Iran developing a nuclear weapon. They already sold that Iran is they're like a day away from nukes, right? And then he sold it again right there while also saying like, well, yeah, sure, Iran's gonna have nukes, but you guys are gonna not be popular in like 10 years. Because we'll have new people in here that won't fund you as much in 10 years because the growing populace of anti-Israel people. That when the left does it, he calls anti-Semitic, by the way.
Like to talk about things in 10 years when you're talking about nukes, like in the short term,
yes,
and in the type of activity that's happening right now, like
2 weeks.
Like war is right around the corner for Iran in the U.S. right now. God.
Yeah. So it doesn't really make sense to even reference like long-term future things, because there's.
I'm telling you, I'm wrecked, bro. This fool. Even this video, when I clicked on, I'm like, maybe nothing crazy. Like he says in the title, right? Dave Smith destroys Douglas Murray. Like, okay, this might be some simple ass video, but Timmy always finds a way. He always finds a way to say something or infer something that where it's like, oh my god, if you're a fan of this guy, what the fuck are you doing? Like you get wrecked somehow. Every time, I'm telling you, he'll sell a narrative or something like that where it's like, this guy's a fucking cunt, bro. He's a Douglas Murray, bro. There's no way around it.
And let's actually like on the topic of Iran with nukes. So I've heard recently that that Iran has pursued like I guess it's uranium enrichment or something, basically for at least according to them for energy production, right? Like
yes,
like nuclear energy,
nuclear power, yeah,
right. So nuclear power. So
for decades.
Well, yeah, but they stopped with the treaty, right? Like I believe they stopped for the treaty. I don't know. I'm definitely not an expert in this stuff, but
Trump threw out the treaty in his first go around. I know that, and then did Biden ever renew it? I don't know.
No, he did not.
No,
but they were trying to set a limit on to where like they can achieve nuclear, like to the level of weaponry, nuclear versus energy. I think.
And that's what I want to like. That's what I want to bring up about like when we talk about nukes. The term nukes to me always refers to nuclear weapons, right? Like otherwise you call it uranium or nuclear energy or something like that.
Yeah.
But I want to be sure that like like if we say they already have it, if we have that kind of concept, I believe we could only say that from an energy perspective, if anything. We can't really say that they have like actual like nuclear weapons.
Nuclear energy can always be converted to a weapon.
But there's a certain level of enrichment that I think is needed to make
Yeah.
into like a missile tip or whatever the fuck. Pause.
That's my understanding that there's another there's more to it to
That pause is
become
golden.
a weapon.
Yeah, there's like.
But again, I'm not really an expert in this stuff, but so I just
Me
wanted to
neither,
like
yeah.
talk about the parts that, as far as I do understand, you know, like I don't have any concept that they do have weapons right now or that they're about to get it, but everybody's saying that they're about to get it. So that idea to me rings of like, and maybe they are, who knows? But it sounds like WMDs, right? Right? Like it sounds like
Oh yeah.
when we invaded Iraq.
Oh yeah.
Like and Tim's reference about the Gulf of Tonkin was really like like that whole thing is like we made a pretext about something on why we should start a war. Like that's
I
what
don't know what he said of that. That was gobbledygook.
It was a weird
well,
point he made, but yeah.
what he said was that, well, that happened. Yeah, it was very strange. But basically, he said that like in 2013, they CIA admitted that. Yeah.
No,
it was
I understood the Gulf of Tonkin side of it. It was what he was comparing it to. That was like, what the
Oh.
fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't know if he was. I thought it was USS Liberty. Dubster thought it was something else, like something completely
October
different.
7th.
October 7th.
The false flag of
I think it
October
was.
7th.
I think it was a hypothetical of a false flag. I think is where he was actually going. He was like, oh, like in a false flag, this happens and this happens. Like he's just doing that. I think maybe.
For me, that is my biggest concern. I think that these world leaders, I would even say that they're cowardly to like just go in and say, "Well, we're going to do this because we think we think we should," right? Like they
Yeah.
don't do that. That wouldn't be a popular thing, like to proactively do something. And so my biggest concern is a false flag where they decide that they have to do it, and then they basically do a reverse attack to make it look like an enemy, just so that
Well,
to give an excuse. Like that's what I think is how it works, right?
Well, we're
Like these
we're way
different-
beyond that. We're way beyond. We can use narratives now, and that's what Netanyahu was trying to pass on to Timmy, apparently, and to the other influencers. It's just narrative. That's all you need. It's like, oh my God, they might have this or might do that. Thus, it's justifiable to. Once again, Israel has been so brazen. Listen, the entirety of this whole thing of their expressions of foreign policy have looked so much or so brazen. That's just like, do they need any reason? Why'd they break the ceasefire? Anyone tell me? Why? Why'd they break the ceasefire? Why?
Well,
do they need a
because we were
do
giving
they
them
need a
money.
fucking reason? Do they need one?
Not because of the nuclear holdback, but because Obama's paying them.
I believe that they are brazen about it, but I think for us to, for the United States, to
Maybe there's a U.S.
initiate-
reason, but why is he kicking students and deporting these motherfuckers? What's his real reason for it? The fans that are in favor of it, they have no reason other than, yeah, get these anti-American people out of here. That's all they're thinking because of Fox News narrative. They said.
Organizer.
Yeah,
They called that one guy an organizer.
yeah, Mahmoud Khalil. Yes, he wasn't like kind of an organizer of what?
But not the girl walking down the street.
The girl walking down the street wrote a fucking article in a paper. Like that's so
Right, she
brazen.
didn't organize.
And then everyone, even Rogan
this
brought
is
up the
not-
gay hairdresser and with the Venezuelan deportation. So it's like, once again, they're just moving so brazenly. I get what you're saying, Jesse. There might be somewhat of an excuse so that the soldiers are okay with it, I guess. Like, all he needs is the fucking soldiers, right? To be okay with
I
it.
need a way in there. I got a way in there.
What?
So, one of the things that's been circulating lately is 2 or 3 well-known veterans that are real pro-military have been making these videos where they've been claiming for probably 3 months now, we could take out Iran's navy in 8 hours.
Bro, are you talking about Scott Ritter?
Our general, no, but
Oh,
our
I would bring him up in
generals.
regards to this conversation.
Hold on,
But go ahead.
hold
Go
on.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Our generals in like the 2010, 12 time years did what we call war games, where they plotted out taking down Iran altogether without another country supporting Iran. And the best we'd get is a Pyrrhic victory where we lose 40 million Americans.
Yeah, this is not Iraq. This is not Iraq. It's not. If people think that, like, because they see Arab or they see Muslim, they think it's going to be this way. Like, no, it's not. This is a well organized machine. This is a well oiled machine. Let's put it that way. This is a well oiled
So
machine, and you're not going to drop a
veterans,
bomb and it's over. It's not happening. Sorry.
the veterans are good with going to war with Iran. The pro military veterans that podcast and shit like that on YouTube, they're good for going to war with Iran.
Bro, this Scott Ritter guy. If you've
Not
heard
Scott
his,
Ritter. I'm talking about.
I'm
like
just saying,
the,
like it's adding to your point, Dubster, where this guy said, "Oh yeah, we'll just drop a low grade nuclear tipped missile and blow up their little underground facilities of missiles and weaponry and shit like that." And it's like,
Scott Ritter.
like, dude, do you think
Scott Ritter said? Hold on. Scott Ritter said the opposite. He said there's no way Israel could win against Iran.
No, he said the U.S. He was talking about the U.S. What we would do, and he was like begging Iran, sign a nuclear deal because otherwise we're gonna fuck you up. And that's what he was saying, as far as I understand. And it's like, yo, we just drop one of these little nuclear, low barred, nuclear tipped fucking missiles into their thing. We're gonna fuck them up.
He was previously saying the opposite. There's no winning a war with Iran.
Oh no, yeah, it'll be a clusterfuck after, like, as time goes by. But as far as their lead, yeah, it'll be another forever war, essentially. But I don't think
Him and Colonel McGregor, both, and that's where they're coming from. They're saying Israel at this point has no chance, and we can't actually beat Iran.
I think Ritter partially implied that, like, yo, Iran, you have no chance, so just sign a nuclear deal.
But
my God,
when I said veterans, I wasn't referring to McGregor and Scott Ritter. I was referring to like the younger veterans that are podcasting. They got like they're all gun shows. Like they talk about guns for an hour and a half, and that's their daily thing.
Okay.
And then they're weighing in, and they've made their own synopsis breakdown of how we would destroy Iran in 8.5 hours. Their navy.
They're so full. They have, once again, the thing that Dave Smith brought up during the Douglas Murray debate, the 7 countries in 5 years. If these fools were that dumb to think, like, yeah, in 5 years, 7 countries, they'll be done. Like, no, it's not. Like, 5 years, huh? 5 years, huh? Like, that is
that was 2000 what?
That is the hubris of a Douglas Murray. I almost said cunt again.
2002. 23 years.
No, when he had that meeting, Wesley Clark.
When they gave the memo, they said, or Dave Smith said 2001, but he also said Wesley Clark said that he had like heard inklings about it, like in 91, 92, in the 90s, I think, as far as that's concerned, which is also very scary that it's like that preemptive of a thing. It's like, holy Christ, that's scary. That's very scary. Especially when you have Douglas Murray type individuals with their fingers near fucking triggers and buttons and missiles and shit like that. That's a scary thought. Move that
I
preemptively.
rewatched that video,
Yeah.
and I noticed that, like how he kept arguing against like the whole Wesley Clark narrative,
Yeah.
But he also says that, yeah, we should always be prepared.
Yeah.
And he said we should have been prepared even from 1980s. So I'm like, wait a minute, like if you're so opposed to this whole idea, then why should we also? That same idea should have been like so much longer ago. Like that's
Well,
that's crazy.
Jesse, Douglas Murray was saying like, oh, there's this meeting with the Congress and all that stuff, and about the idea of imminent genocide, right? They went after Gaddafi. One of the topics was Gaddafi, right? It's like, okay, we'll go after Gaddafi because he's going to commit a genocide soon. Douglas Murray was saying that, and then Dave Smith's counter was like, but what about this memo from 10 years prior talking about 7 countries in 5 years, and Libya was one of them. How do you explain that? And that's when Murray started, let's be real, cognitive dissonance and bullshitting and trying to just win an argument because he's a Douglas Murray, bro. He's a fucking cunt. It is what it is. But yeah, it's these are batshit level crazy people, man. Like actually pathological. And I definitely throw Timmy in that category. And he will downplay horrific things. And when all this stuff before October 7th was building up, he was giving credence to oh, these lefties, yeah, they're anti-Semitic. Ilhan Omar for calling out AIPAC, right? Ilhan Omar for calling out AIPAC is anti-Semitic. He was saying that, yeah, there's just a bunch of anti-Semites. So he already built the narrative that Netanyahu would have wanted anyways. He was building it already. Now he's building Iran has nuclear weapons or they're close to it. That's my guess right now. That is my guess right now. I could be absolutely wrong. Maybe in 2 minutes he says something, says the opposite. But right now, I'm like, yo, maybe that was the directive of the fucking meeting. Make sure everyone knows that Iran has nukes. That's all that's needed. Maybe. Go ahead, Dubster.
I was just gonna say there's other things that is wrong with Elon Omar.
Don't lie, Dubster. She's a hottie. Don't lie. She's a fucking hottie. Go ahead, Dubster, say it. Go ahead, say it.
I'm not a pirate from Somalia.
Ilhan Omar is hot as shit. AOC is hot as shit. Let's keep it moving. Anyways, here's more Timmy.
Because in 10 years, we're not involved. And in 20 years, who cares? We're involved in Israel or we don't like Israel. And on the left, we don't like Israel. So this idea that the Israelis wanted to communicate to prominent individuals, Iran's going to get a nuclear weapon and you're all in danger, was meaningless.
Sure.
Because in 10 years, we're not involved. And in 20 years,
10
who
years,
cares about Iran? We're not going to be a part
Also,
of
America can deal with Iran if need be.
Well, certainly.
Is he implying the nuke's going to happen for Iran in 20 years or something? Where's he going with this? Let's keep it going. I'm curious.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
That want to go to years, we're not involved. And in 20 years, who cares about Iran? We're not going to be a part
Also,
of
America can deal with Iran if need be.
Well, certainly. There are war hawks that want to go to war with Iran.
Yeah.
There were people in Trump's sphere that want this.
Oh, it's been since the '79 overthrow of the
Trump a
Shah.
war hawk?
They overthrew a dememocratically elected Iranian president.
This Ian guy just throws shit in
and then
there.
they installed the Ayatollah, this religious zealot, and now they're like, hey, it's a bad guy. We have to attack them now. And you're like, what?
Pause.
Set it up.
No, the Shah was the one that was forced upon them. They chose the Ayatollah.
The 1970s
why
Iran, you're saying, is forced upon
that's why
him.
we had the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got it backwards, and that's significantly important that if his audience is listening to him is getting wrong right now.
Well,
thank you, Ian.
That's been a kind of a talking point for years now. The 1952 overthrow of the Iranian leader, democratically elected Iranian leader. Yada yada yada.
Right, because the Shah was the king's son, also known as the Shah. Shah was the term for king. How do you elect a king? You don't. The opposing guy's the one that's the democratically elected one.
I mean, hey, I'm not a brilliantly, knowledgeable about this whole scenario with Iran. So.
Yeah. Well, okay. So when we tore up the Ottoman Empire, one of the places was Iran, and we installed a king.
Okay, but there was
Basically, story.
the stereotype is that, and not stereotype, but the kind of the statement or the cliche kind of catchphrase now is 1952, and they had a democratically elected leader there, and then he got overthrown because he was democratically elected. Like the U.S. didn't like that or something, and we funded the overthrow of that guy. Good.
The Shah was there before 52. They had this. They killed this guy. America did. And they put in Shah II, son of king. America put him in.
Where's what's his name? Malzadek, I think is the name. I've heard this
The Shah
thing said
the
10 million
Shah's
times, by the way.
American puppet. The Shahs were the American puppets. That's a simple way to understand it. The guy that the people elected, at least 79 on, Ayatollah. I'm not sure about the 52 guy.
I'm pretty sure that was like that was a secular guy, like non-religious style, secular politics. I think was that guy, and the U.S. ousted him somehow. But all right, let's keep it moving.
In the 52.
And yeah, he got elected. Okay. I think he got elected in 52, and they might have got him out of there after that. But don't quote me on that.
79. He was a revolutionary, but the people chose him.
Fair enough.
You might not like revolutionary, but the people chose him.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had no say on the Shahs. Like, they changed the name from Persia to Iran and put a king in. Like, there's not much else you could say. That's a fucking puppet.
So in their mindset, they're saying, okay, we got a George Washington now instead of some sort of British satellite, if that makes sense.
Right.
British, like feudal leader.
Governor of the territory versus your elected, chosen leader that you will die following.
Yeah. But, all right. Let's keep it moving. Dude, we turned this 13-minute video into over 2 hours, by the way. But let's just keep it rolling, bro. I'm with it. Here we go.
Since the 79 overthrow of the Shah, they overthrew a democratically elected Iranian he was the Shah of Iran, and then they installed the Ayatollah, this religious zealot, and now they're like, hey, it's a bad guy. We have to attack them now. And you're like, we set it up.
The annoying thing is that in trying to understand what the intentions of the Israelis.
Okay, now I get, like, that makes more sense now. What you're saying, like, he said the opposite, actually. Like, the other guys before were the installed guys. This was, in their minds, some sort of revolutionary character taken over. So, but this message would serve.
Yeah.
Wouldn't this serve kind of the idea, like, I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking something else.
Well, we reframed it. We called it a jihadist takeover is a substitute word for commie takeover.
Yeah,
we framed it like that.
Hamas-esque has taken over Iran. Might be like the narrative. But he's also calling them bad, but saying they're U.S. backed or something, right? Kind of.
Well, he's wrong. He's just flat fucking wrong. The Shah, meaning king, was the puppet that was overthrown by the election by the people because you don't elect kings.
I'm just saying that would be in favor of someone being okay with that, with the leadership of Iran going down. If they're thinking like, oh yeah, U.S. backed puppet, take them down. Anyways, all right, let's keep it moving. Here we go.
He was the Shah of Iran, and then they installed the Ayatollah, this religious zealot, and now they're like, hey, it's a bad guy. We have to attack them now. And you're like, we set it up.
The annoying thing is that
To me,
in
there's
trying to
nothing for it.
understand what the intentions of the Israelis are and what's going to happen, you have people online who just like this is why I was saying it's funny because they're saying I claimed Nick Fuentes was an op by the Israelis when I said or the idea is it's more likely, and I'm being somewhat tongue in cheek, because when people like this go online and just say something like they tweet you're a Jew so you don't count or I won't listen to you, I'm like, okay, you're helping Israel. You're making regular Americans be like, I don't want to be a party to whatever that is.
Sure.
But Dave Smith, I praise all the time
Yeah, kind of.
because he's funny, charismatic.
He thinks Nick Fuentes helps Israel?
I think he does. I really do.
Okay.
I
All right.
truly believe
I
that.
don't have much deeper thought than that, but this is a question.
I mean, I thought with Jared Taylor and Matt Hunter, I'm like, that guy could be a fucking Fed for all I know. Like, he really could be. Because he's selling a narrative that makes you come out of the fucking woodworks, make your name stated out loud, and then they catch you. Fuentes, I'm telling you, bro, he comes off as like a weirdo to me, a little bit. But I don't know. I can't say I know. But he seems a little weird. A little too big for his bridges. Anyways, here we go.
That is.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Dave Smith, I praise all the time because he's funny, charismatic, calm, and collected, and explains from a rational American point of view why we don't want to be involved in funding these things.
I've mixed feelings about this. Now, I am very much into global peace, but at the same time, I understand that if you just sit defensively and wait, things can come at you from. That's what ballistics are. Okay, so
Well, that's why we're gonna have a beautiful Iron Dome.
that's true, and that's why we have our fingers away from our homeland so that we're not letting anyone near us. So we have this area protected essentially. If we just let it go and Israel were to fall,
What the
and
fuck?
then the Suez
Hold
is
on,
shut
hold on.
down and controlled by
China.
Which is,
essentially
I think,
China.
the biggest
China.
fear.
Iranian
China.
coalition or whatever.
Hold on. No.
That would
On a
But
minute.
again, you just have to go around. You just have to go around Africa.
It's not easy to do.
But it's that.
Russian,
hold on.
Iranian coalition or whatever.
Yeah.
That might not. I don't.
But again, you just have to go around. You just have to go around Africa.
It's not easy to do
But it's that what they're doing right now.
because of the Houthis.
Because of the
Trump-
Houthis.
so
Like
Trump
they
bombs the Houthis.
Yeah,
like, give us back our canal.
But he's bombing, even with bombing the Houthis, like they're still going. Like I saw a graph or whatever
trying to
yesterday, and they
figure
all
where they're
currently just
going with
around
this.
Africa.
We got to go to chats over here, but Cam Higby was
Okay, hip hop.
What the
So-
fuck? God.
They didn't exactly say it. I think our world, like, if you go back to World War II and take the term the Allies, excluding Russia, our biggest fear is the re-emergence of the Ottoman Empire, or they just don't want that united front to ever exist again.
Are you sure? Because they're doing everything they can do to fucking make it, right? Like
No,
that point I
that's-
agree with, bro. When you're gonna band everyone
Wow.
together if you treat every Muslim shitty. Like, yeah, you're gonna rebuild some sort of unified under maybe an idea or a person or whatever the fuck, or a group of people or a group of nations.
Well, they always want them to infight. They're kind of sucking at making them infight right now, but that's been what they've done for 100 years. Is we kill you and then we get you to infight, so that like Iraq has a problem with Turkey, Iran has a problem with Egypt, so they're always infighting. Like,
Yeah, but
so they're
then
never united.
you have Douglas
They-
Murray, Donald Trump, though.
They've fallen back. They've fallen back on their responsibilities to make them continuously infight them. They've gotten lazy on that from the Allies' outside perspective of make sure that the Ottoman Empire doesn't unite again. They've just gotten lazy on it.
Yeah,
But that's what they were doing
okay.
for a good long time.
Okay, but you have a Douglas Murray and Donald Trump, right? And he apparently, narrative-wise, on the surface, he's making it sound like some of those guys we were just talking about, where like you could just go in and run them over, get them out of here. In fact, that was a thing during Trump's first administration where people were saying like, oh well, we keep ISIS afloat because we don't just get rid of them, right? We just get rid of them. That was some people's logic of things. Go in, get rid of them, be done. Trump couldn't do that either in his first terms, but people gave him credit for doing that or whatever. Whatever. Point is, he thinks like, okay, Yemen, right? We can bomb them, do this, and it's over. Meanwhile, that's nowhere near the fucking case. Nowhere near it. Iran. Oh, Iran, you better follow the deal, otherwise what? You already showcased you can't actually do anything, bro. You can't actually just run them over and be done with it. You might be able to win like some sort of giant war thing, but that would eat up resources. You have to throw fucking soldiers on the fucking ground. You can't just shoot missiles from Washington and win the fucking war. You can't do that. So that narrative should be gone, but let's be real. It's not going to be because they'll lie. It is what it is. They'll lie and say, like, we have destroyed all the Houthis. They're all dead now. Like, no, they're not. They're still firing at U.S. ships and Israeli ships and private company ships and all that stuff. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
They killed them all. They were sitting in a circle, and they killed them all.
Oh, yeah. Which might not be actual soldiers or anything like that. By the way, no evidence, and still no evidence for me. No evidence. We don't know. Just a circle of people erased, apparently. And we have no idea who the fuck they were. No names came out. No proof of anything, bro. Just do it.
What are you talking about?
The airstrike where Trump was like, Houthis holding a secret meeting. Like, secret? It's out in the open. They're in a giant circle. You can apparently see it from your fucking drone. Right? And then he fucking blows them up. You're like, see, look, we got the Houthis secret meeting. They're making war plans. How the fuck do you know that? Do you have comms? Do you have fucking audio? Do you have a transcript? Do you have anything? Show us. You already killed them, so just show us the fucking transcripts. That is not like fucking up, national security or anything, right? It's not top secret. You already killed them. They're already dead. So give us the audio. Something. They don't, obviously, because these are Douglas Murrays we're dealing with. Just saying. Whatever, man. Like, whatever. Let's continue.
I heard the leader was killed in that.
I did not.
Well, I heard the leader died in that, and some other. Yeah, everybody else was like anonymous, but the leader was killed in that.
So to kill the leader, you bomb whatever city or town he's in. You bomb the entire thing to get that one guy.
I don't know if it's even truthful. I'm just saying I heard it.
I'm just saying they are willing to kill large numbers of civilians for the sake of maybe getting one person, or as an excuse, getting one person, right? And they'll also claim that they're actually ending terrorists spreading around the world or whatever, right? Their words, terrorism or terrorist. Like, meanwhile, you're creating them, bro. You're killing grandmas and kids and parents and brothers and sisters and aunties and uncles. You're killing these fools, and you're saying like, oh yeah, we're stopping the rise in terrorist organizations. Like, no, you're fucking not. You're a fucking liar. You're fucking lying.
Terrorist act.
Yeah, I would say so.
Straight up terrorist act.
I would say so as well. But I'll play all this again. Be real there. There's a lot there. I'll let it play again. Here we go.
There were people in Trump's sphere that want this.
Oh, it's been since the '79 overthrow of the Shah. They overthrew a democratically elected Iranian he was the Shah of Iran, and then they installed the Ayatollah, this religious zealot.
Hey, you guys,
like,
ping me
he's
when
a bad guy. We have to attack
Last
them
of
now.
Us is on.
You're like,
I will.
Yeah.
Set it up. The annoying thing is that
Butthead.
in trying to understand what the intentions of the Israelis are and what's going to happen, you have people online who just like this is why I was saying it's funny because they're saying I claimed Nick Fuentes was an op by the Israelis when I said or the idea is it's more likely, and I'm being somewhat tongue in cheek, because when people like this go online and just say something like they tweet you're a Jew so you don't count or I won't listen to you, I'm like, okay, you're helping Israel. You're making regular Americans be like, I don't want to be a party to whatever that is.
Sure.
But Dave Smith, I praise all the time because he's funny, charismatic, calm, and collected, and explains from a rational American point of view why we don't want to be involved in funding these things.
He's not calm.
Mixed feelings about this. Now, I am very much into global peace,
disheartened.
but at the same time, I
What
understand
is it
that if
called?
you just sit defensively and wait,
Narcotic?
things can come at you from. That's what ballistics are. Okay, so
Well, that's why we're gonna have a beautiful Iron Dome.
that's true, and that's why we have our fingers away from our homeland so that we're not letting anyone near us. So we have this area protected essentially. If we just let it go, and Israel,
That'd be my
Also
idea.
repeating propaganda.
and then the Suez is
Yeah.
shut down and
He's
controlled
repeating
by
China.
war propaganda.
potentially.
I mean, let's be real. As far as stated ideas of the only democracy in the Middle East, right? That's been a thing for years as a talking point. And then you sell
Yeah.
the narrative of crazy Arabs blowing themselves up to kill other people. You sell that narrative. Like, apparently it worked. Apparently. And
I would just like to highlight when Democrats are in office, Ian is an isolationist. Whenever Republicans are in office, you know what? We need to have our tentacles out there, our fingers across the planet to make sure we're protected.
Oh,
he's explaining their philosophy, man. Apparently. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
And he's supportive. He's supportive of it.
Wait,
Right
wait,
now.
wait. Is Ian a is he a sleeper cell, bro? He's here to sabotage the Tim Pool experience. Come on. No one? Come on.
He's
No.
paid by
Tim
Tim.
Pool's about to agree with it.
He's paid by Tim.
He'd bite. What do you think, Dubster? What'd you say?
Tim Pool's about to agree with Ian right here. Or he is in the framing of it right here. It's like
I need someone here to
they're
sabotage the show.
they were like, we just need to get out all these wars when Democrats are in office. But now the Republicans are up. We gotta have our fingers out there to protect the mainland.
some Muslim from some random country is gonna find its way across the Mexican border, bro. So you gotta make sure you have your army bases
Which is
scattered everywhere.
which is a
and
problem.
Take over things.
Which is a problem.
Yeah, apparently.
All those Asians that cross the Mexican border, you don't remember that?
Yeah, man. All these PhD students, man, they might become suicide bombers, man, because they're innocent and Arab. That's why they might blow shit up, bro, because they're innocent and Arab. It's a good reason. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's continue.
The Suez is shut down and controlled by
China.
potentially Chinese, Russian,
China.
Iranian coalition or whatever.
Yeah.
That
I'm
would,
wrecked.
might not. I don't.
But again, you
They
just have to
popped
go
the
around.
scholar
You
right
just have to
there.
go around
It's not
Africa.
easy
saw
to
that?
do
But
Yes,
it's that
I did.
what they're doing right now.
because of the Houthis.
Because of the Houthis.
He said
Like,
China
the
popped his
Houthis
collar.
like, give us back our canal.
But he's bombing, even with bombing the Houthis, like they're still going. Like I saw
He's still
graph
just-
or whatever.
They're still selling it. They're still selling the narrative. I don't. Oh my god! They probably make it annoying to go through the Suez, through this canal thing, but they're like these guys aren't enough to stop the United States, the power of the United States, if they wanted to like fuck them up, like really fuck them up, all being like boots on the ground. That'll be it. That'll be GG's. But they're making it sound like damn man, they're making them go around Africa like fucking Columbus did, or some shit like that. Like
Hold on.
there's like a narrative being sold here. It's breaking my brain hearing them say this shit. Like, what are we? I don't know. Now it makes me like I want tape recording of like I don't trust this fool. I need tape recording of of Timmy in that fucking meeting. I want tape recording of it. Otherwise, I don't trust it, bro. Whatever he says, he might be selling some shit, and I don't like it. Personally, just being honest with you, like I don't trust it. But all right, here we go.
now
because of the Houthis.
because
So
of the
Trump-
Houthis.
so
like
Trump
they,
bombs the Houthis.
Yeah,
like,
but
he said because of the Houthis.
but he's bombing
Yeah.
even with bombing the Houthis. Like they're still going. Like I saw a graph or
Okay, they're gonna-
image
The best-
today, and they
so-
all are currently just going around.
we got to go to chats over here, but Cam Higby was on the show the other day, and he's very pro-Israel. He says he's a raging Zionist, and he was arguing that we should fund Israel's
God.
military because they test our weapons or whatever. And I'm like, that's not a good argument, dude. We can test our
What?
weapons, and he's like, yeah, but they're not battle tested. And I'm like, okay, I just don't see that as a good argument.
Yeah, that's not a good argument.
The Suez Canal is interesting
Test
because
our
losing control
weapons.
of that cedes control to the BRICS nations, and that's going to create a multipolar world. That being said, although that is an argument, I don't think it's a strong enough argument to justify the U.S. getting involved in more ground wars in the Middle
Oh
East.
God, the Russians. They want that the Bosphorus Strait. They want to go through Turkey and from the and now they want this. I'm sure for them to think of the
I'm sure everybody wants it.
I'm sure.
It's not
I'm
that
sure.
we can't share the Suez Canal with the Russia. Of course we can. I don't know this obsessive military control thing.
Just a big game of risk.
God, yeah, Trump's not going to back down from this, and I think that's exactly why Trump is pro-Israel. Thanks for checking out this clip.
What? This dude's a fucking.
Multipolar.
Listen, I'll say this right now, and with no evidence, I'll just say it. If you support Tim Pool, you're a fucking idiot. I'm letting you know right now. You are dumb as shit. You are dumb as shit, and you're contributing to making the world a worse place. I'm saying that right now. His show is absolutely. Why would you look at this topic through the lens of these guys? They're dumb as rocks, bro. I'm telling you right now. And it'll be too late by the time. Like, well, hey guys, all right, special announcement. We are at war with Iran. 3 weeks into a war with Iran. That's where we're at. That is where we're at with these guys.
I'll at least somewhat agree with you on this. All of these podcasters are just online panhandlers.
Yeah.
They don't ever give them your money. Like, what the fuck are you doing giving someone else your money just because you listen to them talk?
And I don't think they care about your
That's
fucking
retarded.
livelihood. They don't care about you as an individual. I'm telling you right now. This is.
It's like, this is
I'm
your
wrecked.
OnlyFans. If you're giving these people money, this is your OnlyFans.
It's.
And I listen to Alex Jones every day, whether I agree with the topic or not. I've never given him a penny. I'm never gonna give him a fucking penny. I've listened to Tim Pool for years. Not daily like Alex Jones, but I would never give Tim Pool a fucking penny. Don't ever give these people fucking money. They haven't earned it. They're reading the news to you. You're paying someone to read to you?
And then they get
They're-
special
they're
access
not-
to talk to these.
They're not
fucking fools.
journalists. They read what's already fucking published. And then they break it down, sort of. Like, from their point of view.
If there
You
is
can
a
read the
point of view
same
there.
article. If you can read the same article and break it down in your point of view, do not pay these idiots. The best they get from you is a subscribe button clicked, and they can make money from YouTube. However that's paid. Do not actually pay them your fucking hard-earned money.
I
Do not know this person. Yes, he needs your money, but so do you.
This is true. I absolutely agree. That's a great way to end it. All right, this concludes your. Once again, this is way less analytical for me. I want to talk shit about this guy. Be real with you. Although you heard some analysis from people, but my main reason was to shit on this fucking dweeb. That's my main reason for doing all this. But there it is for you. Subscribe if you feel like. Comment. Agree. Disagree. But timestamps. Show me like what point of the video that you're arguing with or whatever the fuck. If it's with one of these guys, I could bring it up to them next time I talk to them. Whatever the fuck. It is what it is. Don't forget to share, support, or hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. And with all that said, give Tim Time Jimmy Jam and me one big giant pause. Thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in.